Alright, everything's working. Woohoo! Alright, everything's working. That's a great sound effect. Right into this. Okay. Think everything is good. Perfect. Okay. Yep, everything connected properly, I think. We're gonna go with yes. Hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Alright, let's get this going. Okay. Time for trial 1 for this? Bears. Where are we starting again, Cat? There's no bears. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Alright. March 22nd, 9:47 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 3. Adrian did it? That's what it looks like. Dude, no way. That woman couldn't do anything like that. In court today, there will be a mountain of evidence that will implicate you. I'm sorry, I can't stand just the voice and it, oh boy. A mountain of evidence? I'm certain there is someone out there that's trying very hard to pin this whole thing on you. There were many in this case. No, there was not. Who is a bear? Like, I guess Will Powers is more of a lion. I don't know if you consider Gumshoe a bear. Or, like, who do you consider a bear? Well, maybe Miss Oldbag, but I don't know. Please, Mr. Lawyer, dude, like I said yesterday, I'm refreshing like a spring breeze, right? Alright? I can't let any sort of scandal ruin that. I understand. I don't know which one is. Well, it's almost time. Okay, it's you. Well, it's almost time. Is Maya still kidnapped? I don't remember anything of the last stream case. She is technically. Oh, well, she's escaped. Right now. So she has escaped the cellar that she was in. Salutations. Hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, she has technically escaped. At this moment in time. We just haven't... Okay, Cat. Cat, I don't know what's with you. But yeah, so technically we just haven't met up with her yet. So maybe she'll appear during this trial? We'll see. Mia. We mustn't get a complete acquittal. We must get a complete acquittal today. I know, but I can't focus on Maya's situation right now. Or Pearl's either. No matter what, I have to focus on winning this case by the end of the day. Indeed. Let's get going. To be fair, she gets the short end of the stick. Yeah. True. It's him. Beep. This is Wright. Good morning. This is it, Mr. Attorney. The day of the trial. Maya, she's unharmed, right? Oh, I guess... Well, wait. I guess you'll find out right now. I guess technically I spoiled. Whoopsie, it's fine. It's happening right now. Well, when I checked on her earlier this morning, she seemed a bit, how will we say, tired. I don't know, Matt looks goofy. Yes, Matt. Matt. I don't... Oh, yes, he does look goofy. She seemed a bit, how we say, tired. Don't worry, people don't die that easily. Besides, what you really should be concentrating on is winning today's trial. Goofy is the norm in these games. Yes, it is. Sorry, had to have some tea, man. Grr. For my sake, as well as yours, you must win today's trial. Which is why I sent you a little present this morning. Present? What in the world would you want to give me? You'll figure it out once the trial starts. Even if you don't like my gift, I expect you to graciously accept it and win the day's contest, if you please. Wait. The kidnapper sent me a present? Mr. Lawyer, dude? Who was that? No one. It has nothing to do with you, so forget you heard anything. Dude, did your nose just get longer? How did you know it's related to you? March 22nd, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 3. Court is now in session for the trial of Matt and Guard. Are the prosecution and defense ready? The defense is ready, Your Honor. I say, Mr. Wright, what happened to Miss Von Karma? I don't know, Your Honor. Why are you getting mad at me? I'm not her babysitter, she's an adult. He is mad suspicious. Yes, he is. How do I want to do this? Your Honor! Please be quiet, bailiff. Court is in session. If you must tell me something, please keep it brief. Now then, what is it? Prosecutor. Prosecutor Von Karma has. This morning, Miss Von Karma was shot by an unarmed gunman. What? Shot? Somehow, I think this is the present that man was talking about. His present. Miss Von Karma is one of the top prosecutors in the country at the moment. If she were to disappear, it would be to your advantage. Hello, welcome. I missed a lot. You didn't miss too much, we just started the trial. So, you haven't missed too much. All you missed is that, Von Karma was, how do I say this in layman? Mia, this is Pearls. Mia is inhabiting Pearls' body? So yeah, that's the whole thing. Oh, she's an insane lady. I don't know. Maybe they caught her off guard. Who knows? This is totally insane. Miss Von Karma, is she alright? I don't have the answer. She's alive and in a stable condition. That's good. Phew. I thought he'd show up. Your Honor, due to the circumstances, Miss Franziska Von Karma cannot appear in court today. I, Miles Edgeworth, will be taking her place. The prosecution is ready, naturally. Welcome, old friend. Welcome to real-life body logic actually applies in this game. Oh boy. Miss Von Karma was shot in her right shoulder and is currently undergoing surgery. Luckily, I have looked this case over and am familiar with the details. The prosecution seeks to prove the guilt of Mr. Madengard. The court acknowledges the prosecution. Right. I finally found the answer I was struggling for on my long journey this past year. By the time this case comes to an end, you too will know the answer. Now then, the prosecution would like to call its first witness. Please bring Detective Gumshoe to the witness stand. Alright. Hi, Gumshoe. How you doing, buddy? We appreciate Gumshoe on this channel. Witness, your name and occupation.
My name is Gumshoe, sir. I'm a detective down at the precinct, for now.
For now?
After this trial's over, I'm supposed to turn in my badge, sir.
Just kidding. Are you talking about Edgeworth and Phoenix Wright? Well, Well, I don't think that will happen for a long time. But there's fan fictions about it in art, so I guess technically they do. Detective Gumshoe. Oh wow. Really, Kat? That was me. He's not dumb. He's just sometimes doesn't think things through. Prosecution has no need for a depressed witness. Lift your head up and forward like a proud officer, Detective Gumshoe.
Yes, sir.
Now, let's have your testimony. If we want to explore the various facets of this case, we must start with that. Well, apparently the fandom says otherwise. That's what I mean. Yes, the fandom says that it's a thing. It's just not... If it does happen, it happens. It would be interesting. It would be interesting to have it actually happen in the game. Be surprised. Get ready, Phoenix. This is going to be one very rough fight. Yeah, it would has to be with Edgeworth as my opponent. The answer he was struggling for. Interesting. Show me this answer you finally found, Edgeworth. Alright, here we go. Witness testimony. Bare facts of the case.
This murder happened after the Hero of Heroes Award ceremony, sir.
Secret ending. Maybe we haven't found it yet.
The victim, Juan Cordio, was found in his hotel room. After looking into the cause of death, we believe he was definitely murdered, sir. First, we thought there was something suspicious about the empty guitar case. However, we later found out that the guitar case had nothing to do with the murder.
After the award ceremony ended, the victim was alone in his room. Edgeworth exists. I think I am traumatized. Anything exists. Anything exists. And I don't think we need to speak any more on it.
Yes, sir. Both the victim and the defendant went alone to their rooms, sir.
I see. Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Alright, here we go. I'm just gonna save right here, just so I don't have to go through the whole beginning again. Whew. Happened. The victim... After looking into the case, I believe he was definitely murdered. The cause of death. Wasn't it that because Mr. Cordia was stabbed in the chest?
Only a careless amateur would believe something so brainless as that, pal. Take a good, hard look at the crime photo. Now a real pro's attention would be drawn here to this bandana.
Banana?
His bandana, sir. That's the thing wrapped tightly around his neck, sir.
Yes, I see. His banana-scented bandana. Oh, Judge, you are a peach sometimes. We adore you. And you never age. I'm so glad. Then what about the knife?
It seems to have been stuck in the victim's chest on purpose after his death.
We have a crafty murderer on our hands here. Autopsy report added to the court record. Time of death, 8:15 p.m. Cause strangled with a scarf. Then stabbed with a knife. Interesting. So they had to be freaking strong, man. The judges impeachment. I don't know. Do you not have hair? And are a judge? Do you have a judge license? First we thought something special about the case. Why did you think that?
Because it was empty, pal. The jamming ninja doesn't go anywhere without his bright red guitar. We couldn't find it anywhere at the scene of the crime.
Oh, then how about this theory? A fan really wanted the guitar and did the crime to get it. How's that?
We thought of that too, but... The only fingerprints on the guitar case were the victims.
Only the victims? Huh. I'm good at judging people, that's for sure. I think everyone has that skill, but hey, if you want to go to law school, by all means, go ahead. It's just a long time. But hey, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. There are so many, like, locks on this thing. Usually you have, like, 2. Why does he have, like, 4? I see. So much for my theory, then. Guitar case updated in the court record. Empty. There was some water, but only on top of the lid. Bears Cordy's fingerprints. Interesting. Found out the guitar case had nothing to do with the murder. What convinced you it had nothing to do with the case?
The guitar wasn't at the Gatewater Hotel that night.
Well then, where was it? For real. If the judge had your judgment, no justice would be done. Yeah. For real. Judge had your judgment. Yeah, that is true.
The broken guitar was eventually found at the TV studio. The victim, Juan Cordia, apparently only taken the case with them, sir.
Okay. So you mean he forgot to put the guitar inside the case?
Yes, sir. Even when he was on stage for the ceremony, he didn't have his guitar.
So the guitar case was empty even before he got to the hotel?
Yeah, that's right. So it really has nothing to do with the case after all.
I believe that is enough. First, the victim was choked to death with his bandana. Then, after the victim was dead, the killer deliberately stabbed him with a knife. Which brings me to the next point. Why then did the police arrest Matt Ungod? Because there was a reason enough to suspect him. Here it comes. Looks like Edgeworth's back in full swing. Of course. This is his territory. Why wouldn't he? Well, very well, Detective Gumshoe, please testify about this matter.
Yes, sir.
Why arrest Ungard?
Matt Ungard and Juan Cordia were huge rivals with each other. They each thought the other guy was in his way. That's motive enough in my book. As for evidence, there's the Jam and Ninjas button. It was ripped off the ninja's costume and was found in Mr. Ungard's hakama.
Yeah, wow. Yeah?
The defendant's fingerprints were also all over the knife. The defendant bought the knife for the crime, which makes this a premeditated murder.
Goodness. That is a bright frickin' tableware. I could have honestly been a very mature if he was so smug. Well, he is mature, but he's still young. Like, he's 25. He's very young. In the grand scheme of things, him and Wright are both very young. They got a lot to do in life. You have to, excuse me, that Francisca is 18. So they're very young. They got a whole lot of growing up to do. So the defendant's fingerprints were found on the knife used in the stabbing.
It was sort of sticky on the handle, so the fingerprints came up pretty clearly, sir.
Knife added to the court record. Bears the victim's blood and Ungard's fingerprints, and the grip Gatewater is engraved.
And there's this button.
That was found on the defendant's clothes, was it? And is this button also covered in blood?
Yes, and we know that the blood on it is the victim's blood, sir.
What? Jim and Ninja's button, added to the court record, was ripped off from the costume. It is covered in Cordia's blood, found in Ungard's hakama. All of this points very clearly to the defendant, doesn't it? Yes, it most certainly does, Your Honor. But it's given yet, right? I'll find the hole in your argument somehow. You're so confident. Right? I'm proud of you. You can press as hard as you'd like. Just hurry up with your usual pointless questions. I'm related. Why do you need a math problem? Girl, why is there a math problem in my chat? Looks dull as heck. No, has no tip. How did he even pierce the victim? Oh, well, if they're strong enough, I'm assuming even something that is dull can hurt. Like, at least puncture. But who knows? I don't know. Maybe he just hit really hard. Alright. We're huge rivals with each other. But in terms of popularity, Mr. Agard won, did he not?
Yup. But you know what's ironic, Bill? Juan Cordio was always one step behind Mr. Agard and everything. This year it seemed like he'd finally caught up, ready for the big final showdown.
But Mr. Cordia lost the Grand Prix in the end. That is too bad. He must have been pretty downhearted after losing. Okay, Edgeworth. In his way was enough in my book. Wait just 1 second here. Mr. Agard was beating Mr. Cordia in the popularity polls.
Well, yeah, I guess, but...
Which means that in the defendant's eyes, the victim was not a rival at all. Which means he had no motive to kill at all. Which is true. Unless someone got, like, on his nerves. Yes, I quite agree. Well, Detective?
It's not, well... I guess if you put it that way, then yeah, the defendant would have had no motive.
Detective, I'm beginning to see why you were fired.
No, not you too. Mr. Edgeworth, sir. That's...
I look forward to your pension negotiations. Wow, Edgeworth. Wow. You come right back and you still bother poor country. And you can see. Yeah, see? That's what I think. Because even if it's dull, it still causes damage, and it wasn't the thing that caused the passing of Mr. Cordia, so who knows?
No!
Now, Detective. Let's continue with the testimony.
No! My poor pension, too!
Goodness. Detective, if you value your money, I suggest you proceed.
Yes, sir. We can talk about my pension later, sir.
What about what I was saying? Hello? Anyone? As for evidence, there's the jamming ninja button. Do you have any proof that the button belonged to the victim?
Oh, what do you mean, pal?
Plus, adding video game logic, yeah. That is true. About the as long as it works, then it is most like those kind of are not made for cutting. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Then it's just a metal stick. Well, it's in the logic of these things. It is. About this thing. I'm asking if you have any evidence to back up your claim. Can't English. Anyway, like, it's sharp enough. Like, it's got a point. That's the only thing I have to say on it. Claim that this button was ripped off the jamming ninja costume.
Well, can't you tell by just looking at him? And the victim's blood is on it.
But if you against a human or really animal, yeah, anyone could have smeared that blood on there afterwards.
Mr. Edgeworth, help me, sir.
All right, I knew it had to be this piece of evidence. Now to reel this one in. Thread, huh? The button was attached to the costume by a thread, obviously. Hello, welcome. We're at the beginning of this case for the final case in the second game. And that thread snapped while the button was torn off. If you match up the ends of the thread on the costume with the thread on the button, it's a perfect match.
Yeah, that's it. They're a perfect match, pal.
Irk. That's Edgeworth for you. Never misses a beat. Ripped off the ninja costume was found on... Alright, so that is true. Well, when was this button found?
Pretty soon after the body was found, we rounded up everyone who knew Mr. Cordia. And then we did a search on them all. That's when we found the button.
So it was almost immediately after the murder.
The police didn't have the free time to lollygag and play tricks, unlike some people.
Hey, what is he trying to say about me here? The defendant's fingerprints were also all over. Okay. How were the fingerprints arranged on the knife?
What do you mean, pal?
By examining the fingerprints, you can determine how the defendant held the knife. For example, did he hold it normally or overhand?
Oh, is that what you meant? Well, we didn't actually think of that.
I can't believe the bumbling of this department.
Hopeless. Were you paying attention to the testimony, right? The defendant's fingerprints were all over the knife. There's no way to determine how the knife was held at the moment of the murder.
So is the defendant the owner of this knife then? The defendant bought the knife for the crime, which makes this a premeditated murder. Okay, well I know exactly it's this statement, but I don't know, I'm gonna press it just in case I need more information. Because isn't it everyone's favorite thing to go like, I need to make sure that I need all of the evidence for this thing. Or, instead of evidence, I should say testimony, particularly. There's no way this was a premeditated murder, even if you bought the knife.
Sorry, pal. This isn't some pocket knife. It doesn't fold, so it's not great for walking around with either.
Ark, well, this is not good. If the prosecution can prove it was a premeditated murder, we're done for. Phoenix. Yes?
There's something very interesting about what the detective said just now.
So, was the knife really bought for the murder? I'm going to assume it's actually made of gold, so that's kind of what would make sense in a super expensive hotel. You hit it on the head. I still have absolutely nothing about this case or any other than... I still get absolutely nothing about this or anything rather. Hey, it's entertaining, that's what it is. And about the knife being bought, if I show you this, you are actually correct, because look what it says, Gatewater. And the ceremony was in the Gatewater Hotel. Anyway.
There's something very interesting about what the detective said just now. Think carefully before it's too late.
Button covered in the victim's blood and a knife with unguarded fingerprints.
Be grateful if the judge were more rash, he would have already pounded his gavel in closing.
We're still in a world of trouble.
Well, before any battle, you must find your enemy's weakness. So let's find the weakness in this testimony, no matter how small it may be, okay, Phoenix?
But yeah, oh dang, I forgot you even had the name of the hotel. It's okay. You wouldn't think about it. I just know... Oh, frick, I went through it again. I just remember because it was like, it makes sense. Yes, 10 out of 10 highly recommend. That's the same answer with just a different formula. Oh, frick, I hit it again! But yes, this is entertainment in the sense of watching me trying to figure out what the frickin' thing. Fingerprints. Okay, it's this. There we go. Present. Move. This. Badooski. Goodness golly. Wait a second. What? So the basis of your argument that this was a premeditated murder is simply that my client bought a knife beforehand?
That's right, pal. The defendant
didn't buy this knife.
Huh?
Take a good look at the handle of this knife, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Huh?
It has Gatewater seal set into the handle.
Gatewater? I think I've heard that name somewhere before.
Yeah, you've had it in a previous case, you know, the one where Mia was the victim in the situation. Okay. That's the name of the hotel, the Gatewater Hotel.
Uh-oh.
The murder knife was actually property of the hotel, which means this murder was not premeditated. Why is his shoe sticking into the witness stand? Dude, God, it makes my murders ridiculous. Oh boy. This is where we're going with this. Yes, that is very true. This is a very big... What is it, Mr. Edgeworth?
I'm sorry, but the defense is simply too careless.
What? Oh, here we go with his wagging his finger over there.
I think whether the crime was premeditated or not has already been determined.
Okay, that's up to the individual. I was like, I was wondering where she went. Wow, that took you a second. It's okay. Oh yeah, so it must have happened already. So yeah, Maya is escaped from the kidnapper. Can't argue with that. But yeah, so Maya is somewhere. I don't know how far away she is. So she's somewhere. I will say that she has escaped. How so?
I admit this knife is the hotel's property. There is no one currently on the police force that is dumb enough to not to realize this.
But I didn't...
Oh, poor Gumshoe.
The question is, where did this knife come from?
Why, that's obvious. It came from the victim, Mr. Cordia's room.
Sorry, Your Honor, but that is incorrect.
There's so many theories.
The victim ate a last meal before he was murdered. With that being the case, I would like to draw the court's attention to what was on top of the table.
There's a knife and a fork on the table. Yeah, right there. Then, where in the world did this knife come from? My main option needs some retreat for its own sake. Yeah, probably.
If this pleases the court, I would like for us to recall the room of the defendant, Mr. Matt on guard.
Ta-da! Right there.
Especially what was on top of his table. There is something missing. Perhaps it was a single knife?
At this point, she's more unreliable than kids. It's the worst scenarios, not even try. Yeah, she can. Because if he gets fired out, see him getting charges. Yeah, so for Maya, yes. I feel bad for Maya. She is someone that should not be left alone out in public. Because obviously, this is how she's either accused of murder or she's been kidnapped. Because, you know. And when it comes to Gumshoe, yeah, he really just needs to go back to training. He'll be fine. He'll do okay. Our buddy Gumshoe will do okay.
We investigated the leftover dishes for fingerprints, and while we were investigating, we came to the conclusion that Mr. Madam God's knife was missing.
Irk.
Mr. Ungard has gone to the victim's room with the knife he had used during dinner. Why would he carry a knife on a visit? To kill, of course. And with that, I believe the prosecution has proven this was a premeditated murder.
Well, that was a spin. Amazing, Mr. Edgeworth. Absolutely brilliant. A brilliantly clear deduction. Maya just has some... the spirits must hate her. Yeah, probably. I think the Faye family's just cursed, to be honest. I really do think that's the case. Because, you know, or at least the head of the family is cursed. Because, Maya and Mia's mother has been ostracized from society. Mia is dead. And Maya ends up with all those. But out of us, just who are you more, like, comfortable with? I don't really have... It's not like I know you guys that well, so I'm just comfortable with all you guys here because you're just entertaining. You guys are respectful, so I'm happy to have you guys around. With the random shenanigans. But not too much shenanigans. But yeah.
Seems like Edgeworth has this planned from the very beginning.
This made one of those traps, and I just walked headlong into it. A murder weapon with fingerprints and a button from the victim's costume. There is quite a sizable amount of evidence here.
I can safely say that the further deliberation is a waste of Your Honor's time. Although, I wouldn't mind if the defense were to present evidence not yet shown to the court.
Evidence not yet shown? That's weird. But yeah, I wouldn't say there's like a particular one that is more comfortable. I'm trying to make a public between 3 people. I guess. I don't know. Like I said, it's not something. It's not a horrible question, but yeah, it's. You guys definitely bounce off each other weirdly well. And fair enough, because I don't trust you. I'm kidding. Or am I? Well, hey, that's good thinking like a lawyer or judge. There you go. We went full circle.
Evidence not yet shown. He means evidence the court hasn't seen yet. In other words, new evidence.
What does the defense have to say about this, Mr. Wright? Well,
Phoenix. The judge is favoring the prosecution right now. If we answer with something wrong here,
the gavel of his will be ringing out to the sound of our defeat. Mr. Wright, do you have something important and necessary to present to the court? Actually, I do, I think. There is one piece of evidence that catches my attention. Something that this court has yet to see. Mr. Wright, I will say this one more time. I do not feel this trial needs to continue at all. The other question, I was just curious, since we're basically the regulars. Like I said, it wasn't a horrible question. It's just that's the way I can answer it. I guess that's my only answer. I do not feel this trial needs to continue at all. However, I'm giving you one chance, and only one.
what the judge is saying, right, is don't try pulling one of your usual bluffs here.
If I mess this up, it's curtains for all of us. You may now present one and only one piece of evidence. Now then, what is this important evidence that you must show to the court? One. It's just death. I get it, but really, I don't. Yeah, that's very agreeable. Like I said, it's not a horrible question to ask, but yeah. If you're all, I don't really put someone ahead of anyone else. There's not really a reason to. And this is all just fun and entertainment. What do I want? Is it this or is it this? And how do you know if I'm not getting so that I need to? Well, because you want to continue to see the stream. I would hope you would like to continue to see the stream. Am I gonna randomly? Is this what we're gonna do? I guess. That's why you couldn't be a judge. No.
Sorry, Wright, but this time your bluffing steered you wrong.
Okay, I wasn't sure. You're more like. Well, that means that means optimism. It's not technically a bad thing. Fair enough, I made a statement. Oh, I love that I can just do this with my wheel. Whee! I'm assuming if I say not right now. But you oh boy. One piece of evidence. What do I have to present? This? Yes, I do. Oh, joy. Something that hasn't been present. Oh, must okay. How about this one? No, of course not. Why would Edgeworth be lenient on me? He's attorney. Oh boy, he's attorney justice for all. I'm getting the freaking guide after I do one more attempt, because I'm not sure. Trial 1. Okay. Alright, that's good to know. Okay, so I wouldn't have gotten this. Oh my gosh. That is a very random thing. Why that piece of evidence? It's such a strange piece of evidence to want to put out to the court right now. I'm curious where this is going to lead us. Apparently that's the wine glass. This is a wine glass, is it not? Do I have you watched or at least listened to objection? Yeah, I have. I have before. It is a masterpiece. Please look at the photo of the crime scene one more time. The scene is a mess because of the victim's struggle against his assailant. The vase was broken, his makeup is all over the floor. He's rolled things that were at one point sitting on top of the dresser. Well yes, I see your point. However, this glass that is sitting on top of the dresser is mysteriously untouched. Yeah, that does make sense. The only thing that has not fallen over with everything else is this wine glass. This piece of evidence is more than strange enough to warrant a further consideration. Well, what do you all have to say? Well, yes, well, yes, it is a little peculiar. Yes, isn't it? I thought it was. Oh, Phoenix, you, pulled that right out of nowhere, being like, the glass, isn't it suspicious? Look at it. Look at the glass. I don't know. I find that very hilarious. You stop looking at me with those puppy dog eyes of yours now. Mr. Edgeworth?
What is it, Your Honor?
Your opinion?
You don't need my opinion. Because there is no special meaning to that glass.
What? Oh boy, where are we going?
It is safe to say that the glass was set there after the crime took place. By the person who discovered the body, Adrian Andrews, for example. She could have easily been so shocked that she set the glass down without thinking.
That does sound very possible. Mr. Wright? How did she get to the table? She just set it down? Wouldn't she just drop it? If she walks in and sees the dude and is like, huh? Could Miss Andrews really have set that glass down without thinking? There's no way. If I appear weak here, the trial's over. I can look for my proof later. For now, I should trust my uncertainty, point research.
I might fall for it if you're thought-provoking enough.
Thank you. The defense would like to challenge the prosecution's theory. We'd like to see something that proves that it was Miss Andrews who set the cup on the table. You've turned the situation on its head yet again, as usual. Mr. Edgeworth, do you have any proof to back up your claim? We could have dropped it. Well, drop it and it just land. There's no mess. So she had to have set down the cup completely still. Because the glass is almost like, look how full this glass is. And you're gonna tell, and I'm gonna say this, if you look at this, look at the mess. In the door to, is this showing? No, it's not. Give me 1 second. Okay, so, because you can see my mouse now. So the glass is right here. The body's right here. This is the mess. Right over here, like this wall, and right here's the door. So she would have had to go around the case to drop it here. Which is kind of weird to do if Adrian Andrews is the one who did that. Because of all the places, why didn't she set it here? Because then she's not getting as close to the body. It's tricky to make juice as a bad approach. Well, it's because it's not supposed to be, well, he said it's a wine glass, but yeah, it's because to keep the rating down, I guess, maybe that's why. So it's tomato juice. There's no way he has any, he's just bluffing. You know, coming from you, Phoenix, that's not exactly a lot. Unlike Mr. Wright, I never said anything. I never say anything unless I have the evidence to support it. What? Oh, joy. You're not thinking hard enough today, right? Did you think this wine glass escaped my notice? Then... Of course it has been thoroughly inspected for fingerprints. Fingerprints? There were only one set of fingerprints left on this wine glass. Only one? Well, whose were they? They were not the victims nor the defendants, rather they were one of Adrian Andrews. What? I don't know if it is mentioned, but the circles on the armor on the front row where the knife is gone. Mentioned, but the circles on the armor on the front from the one where the knife is gone. The circles on the armor. Circles on the armor? The circles on the front, the one where the knife is gone. Yeah, this one? Yeah, that's the button. Yeah, this circle is missing. That's, this. Because the knife pierced, so then the button fell out, from my understanding, is how they have the case from. Wine glass right next to the victim. It's filled with tomato juice, bears Andrew's fingerprints. That's why I said that the person who discovered the body had left it there. Are we done here, Mr. Wright? Grr, I can't believe I fell into another trap. Miss Andrews was probably holding the glass when she went to see Mr. Cordia. But upon seeing his dead body, she was stunned and set the glass down on the dresser. You guys see... We'll see ya! Bye! Have good luck with class! What you just said makes a lot of sense. I don't... You would think she comes in the door. She didn't see this. How do you miss this?
Now do you see, right?
God, I forgot they went over that evidence. It's okay. It's okay, it happens. It's not a bad thing. It just means it's like, oh. Because you kind of forget about it for a second. I had to look at circles and I'm like, oh, the thing on the armor. It took a second for me to connect what circles you were talking about, but it makes sense.
You can't change any parts of my scenarios, as explains everything all too well.
Grr.
I've thought long and hard this past year about what it means to be a prosecutor. And from here on out, I will show you the answers I have come to discover.
Wait a second, Mr. Edgeworth. I think the prosecution has provided enough evidence for me to enter my verdict.
Fortunately, I cannot allow you to pass judgment yet. Prosecution has yet another witness we would like the court to hear from.
Another witness? As you can tell, he really wants to bury the hatchet. It's like 6 feet under.
Yes. Bailiff, please bring in the next witness. What in the world is Mr. Edgeworth thinking?
I don't know. Oh no, now we gotta do a Miss Oldbag voice. Okay, well I'm gonna drink tea real quick.
Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation.
Oh boy.
Witness, state your name and occupation, please.
Gotcha. I can't do the spelling with Miss Oldbag. Grr. I wonder what happened to that calm composure he had earlier. It left the building.
Oh, Edgy Boo, it's been a year since we last met, hasn't it? You should be more happy to see me.
I saw the report with her testimony, but who knew that under that helmet? It was the Wicked Witch of the witness stand.
I tell you this time I know what I'm supposed to do. So today I'm going to tell you anything and everything. Even the things that don't have to do with that terrible cry.
Save us. Judge, get her out of here. Miss Witness, that terrible crime is all this court needs right now. Oof.
Hush, I'm talking to my dear Edgy Wedgie right now. Don't interrupt us, Gramps.
You see what's wrong?
Miss Oldbag.
Yes, ma'am.
No, please, by all means, interrupt her, please. Anyway, witness, state your name, your testimony, please.
Goodness, Anne.
It's true what they say. The youth are hot-headed nowadays. Not that I mind at all, Edgy. Now then, what should I start with?
The witness was on security detail at the hotel on the night of the murder. Is that correct, Miss Oldbag?
Goodness, it was a great job being able to see my dear Juan. It was almost too much for my little heart to handle.
You mean you were a fan of the victim?
Look, everyone's crazy over that on guard saying he's cute and a fresh fry or something. But not me. I wouldn't say anything so silly. After all, I have no interest in a little child like him. I'm only interested in a real man, Juan Cordio. Bag.
But those two were the same age.
Anyway, as I was saying, I was pacing in front of this room that night.
Very well, please tell the court what you witnessed the night of the murder.
Goodness, she destroys my throat.
Leave it to me, Edgy Boo.
What you witnessed. Oh, goodness.
Anyway, after the ceremony, I went to pacing around in front of his room. There was something I was interested in finding out, you know. Well, since I was on the job, I made sure to keep a good eye out the whole time. That's when someone showed up. It was a man coming out of poor Juan's room. He was on guard. Man on guard. He was trying to sneak his way out of Juan's room.
Goodness. So Mr. On Guard came out from the victim's room.
See? It has to be him. He's the murderer.
I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Joy, what you witnessed. After the ceremony, I went to pace around in the hallway in front of his room. Why his room? Everybody in the court should follow restraining order.
Yeah, that would be nice, wouldn't it?
I don't think anyone is like, oh, Joy, she's back. Miss Oldbag, what was your post on that night?
The lobby. I was supposed to help set up for the stage for the trifling show. But I refused to help. I'll have you know, it was for that lead-headed samurai show. I even took out a few of the nails.
Maybe it was a good thing the show didn't go on.
Besides, that manager with the glasses seemed to be working hard at it without me. As I thought, I'd take a break and spread my wings a little.
And that's when you went to hang out around the victim's door? Yeah, it's a little creepy. They really should get a restraining order. Especially Edgeworth. He'd probably have less problems. Interesting. What were you interested in? Something you were interested in? And just what was that?
goodness golly. It's not like... It's not... My voice goes really high. Miss Oldbag. It was something, a little thing I can go around telling everyone, you know. It's top secret between me and Juan. And Edgy Poo, of course.
Mr. Edgeworth, what is this thing she was interested in?
I have no idea. I despise gossip, Your Honor.
Gossip?
But should it prove prevalent, we can always have it appended to her testimony later. Looks like we can force it out right now.
And did the witness stay in the vicinity of the victim's door the entire time? Job, I made sure to keep a good eye out the whole time. Well then, how did Ungard get into the room, if that's true? Oh, then would you tell us the number of people who went in and out of Mr. Cordia's room?
I have no idea. I wasn't born, so I couldn't count things for those who didn't pay attention in class. That's why ever since I was turned 20, I quit keeping track of how really old I am.
Yes, well, that would explain why your age was not included in the report.
In any case, the witness then saw someone, correct?
Okay, that was weird. That's when someone showed up. Weird. Who in the world was that?
I'm not allowed to say. This sort of information has to be carefully guarded from the masses, Sonny. The man that came out of Juan's room. He was...
Yes, he was.
Oh, I'm too scared. I can't say his name out loud.
Oh, what would I give to have Francisca's whip right now? Oh, you miss her that much already?
Well, I guess I can tell you, since he was such a bad boy anyway.
It was on guard. Goodness. You saw my client, are you sure about that? Yes,
You're saying?
Really?
I know you, brat. When I say I saw someone, I saw that person.
I don't think she did, because the victims I was attacked besides the ruins of that crazy thing would have stolen some of the victims there. Yeah, that's probably very accurate. Very, very accurate. Why do I get a sense of deja vu? Maybe to avoid a repeat of last year, I should delve into this a bit further. The person's face, what the person was carrying, the person's clothes. Yeah, there's just like... She really should not be looking for celebrities. It's kind of worrying. And the person's clothes. Please tell the court about the man's clothes in more detail.
What a troublesome man you are, really, as if something like that really matters.
But it does.
No, when was it? Oh yes, it was that thing.
What thing?
The gaudy thing he was always wearing, that racing jacket.
He was wearing that at the detention center, too.
That thing meant for nothing but seducing women out of their pantaloons. Men.
Okay, but you're flirting with Edgeworth, who was probably 3 times younger than you, so who is the one at fault here? It's double standards, Wendy Oldbag. Double standards. Right. See? So, Mr. Wright, was this testimony just now important or irrelevant anyway? Important. Guess it really wasn't that important after all. Mr. Wright, do you know why we say time is valuable? If not, I suggest you learn. I do. Let's try. What the person was carrying. What was the man you saw carrying?
And which hand is right on his left?
Dressed as like people from back when he was young, that's why. When she was young, that's why. Yeah, you're probably not wrong. We don't know how old she is, so it's very possible.
Oh, now this is romance. I mean, I can't be expected to answer such a vague question.
Indeed. Please be more specific with your question, Mr. Wright. Sorry. What was the man you saw carrying in his right hand?
Oh, he wasn't carrying anything in that hand.
Then how about his left?
Empty.
Well, this whole thing has been a lot of nothing. Let's see the last testimony. Person's face. Please tell the court about the man's face in more detail.
You don't need me to tell you about his face. That soft, gentle look in his eyes and his...
What?
His right eye covered by his silky hair and sparkling shining teeth.
His teeth were shining?
Well, he was shining all around in this week's pinup poster, dearie.
This week's pinup? Why do you... I mean... I don't care how he looks in this week's issue. Please say what you saw that night.
Oh, why is there a poster? Where am I? This is a kid's cartoon actor. Why? What? And Guard's face is the same no matter where it is, you know? You whippersnapper.
Okay, so it's the second one. Definitely. What was he carrying? I consider more important since all she says is the jumpsuit. Or the racing suit. It's important. Of course it was wearing, Your Honor.
Then perhaps you would like to point out what part of it the testimony was important.
You don't really have to put it in that way to get me to say. You say that now with Phoenix Church and another.
Okay. No, it was not an actual person. It was a statue in relation. There was undertones, yes, but not actually. I'm not saying that she's not allowed to have, likes, but was that really necessary in relation to what we were talking about?
Mr. Wright, there is something much more valuable than a person's pride, and that is time. Please don't waste this court's precious time with these questions. Yes, Your Honor. I think I just wasted this good favor. I don't think she's lying. That's bad for us, real bad.
But that's how the human mind is. It also has a tendency to jump off topic. She's straight on to a different side topics this time too, hasn't she? But that's what makes her a sweet old lady, right?
That's because you're not the one who asked the question. Okay, so that wasn't it? I thought that one was pretty good. Alright. Like, frick, I thought that one was the best one. The person's face, the person's clothes. I guess maybe it's this one? If it relates to one thing. It was very important. Don't you see it, Edgeworth? Your Honor, I request what the witness said about that jacket to be appended to her testimony. I don't quite see where you're going with this, but alright, witness, please.
Oh, well, I don't like to badmouth anyone without reason, but if I must...
Okay, he was wearing his flashy racing, honestly, it's just for sure. Okay, I think... Because I remember the statement. Why am I remembering this one particular... Okay, anyway. Yeah, last trial was just a roller coaster ride. That's all I have to say on that one. Miss Oldbag.
What? Don't say my name for no reason.
Do you know what this is?
Oh, it's it's button number 2 on Jammin' Ninja's costume.
Now I know she's an obsessed fan. She identified it in a single glance.
Give it here. Give it here. If you don't give it to me, I'll punish you with this.
Wow, she really is a die-hard fan to want a button covered in blood.
This button was discovered on Mr. Ungard's body during a full body search.
See?
She doesn't like nothing without reason, but I'm sure she's good at finding reasons. Yes, she is. She's good at finding a lot of reasons.
This button proves beyond a shadow of a doubt is that rascal on guard.
It was caught up in the pleats of his nickel samurai hakama pants.
See? And Nungard is the nickel samurai.
Witness. Now, it may just be me, and I do have an active imagination, but just now, didn't you say that the defendant, Man in Guard, was wearing his usual racing jacket?
Ah, I'm so sorry. Sorry that you judge people based on what they wear. If I wore the trendiest dress, but instead I have to put up wearing ridiculous little gavin. You agree this outfit's hideous, right? I got a strap record stuck on my chest. Let me tell you, it's heavy. So I wish we could switch the CDs. The ages go. You love those kids. They smile. Understand? Now take a look in the mirror. Your clothes are about as interesting as Dr. Mary Carlin. You're stuck to Veggie Bro. He is in style. Now hold your tongue still there for 1 second. What you saw in actuality was not Mr. On Guard, the man, but On Guard, the nickel samurai? But when you think about it,
That's a tape recorder attached to her chest.
they're really one and the same anyway.
Miss Oldbag, this is a very important point we're talking about.
Edgy Poo, don't you think so, too?
Well, it might be something worth considering. Just say it's important and agree with me for a change. It's like an elderly couple. Witness, think carefully and try to remember as much as you can before you testify.
Alright, if you insist.
I should be the one sighing, not you. Who I saw.
On guard. Yes, now I remember. The nickel samurai, that's right. It was the nickel samurai that I saw. Yes, it would have been convenient for him to wear his costume during the murder. He had to go to the post-ceremony stage show right after the crime, you know. So he must have worn that samurai costume when he was stabbing poor Juan.
Okay, I knew it. I knew you'd say he was inside that costume.
What? Did you think there could have been someone else in that costume? Don't be a little boys, thinking such real things.
But the possibility does exist.
You young'uns today, I told you there's no way it was anyone else.
How do you know that?
Because I said so, and what I say is the truth.
The last case of the game is hearing to Nick. Is hearing out to Nick's innocuous divorce. They weren't married. When did they get engaged or married? I think we all would have gone, but I guess it's probably. They're technically going through a freaking separation arc right now, and now they're back together. Ish. Trying to get back together. At least she's just as delightful a witness as she was a year ago. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Joy. I don't really know for this one. But I guess we'll see as we go on. If I can figure it out. On guard, yes, I know, I remember the nickel samurai, that's right, it was the nickel samurai that I saw. He's a dirty couples therapy. Yeah, that's probably accurate. That would be very funny. That would actually be hilarious. Press. Be a little more careful with your testimony, please. Not too long ago, you said he was wearing his racing jacket, and now he's not.
Not too long ago. Then let me ask you this. Were you a itty-bitty when you were itty-bitty, what was your grand dream?
Huh?
What did you want to be when you grew up, you whippersnapper?
My dream, huh? Well, I, wanted to be a Judge Wagner, hero of the public courts.
Well, he really wanted to be in law since he was a child.
See? Look at where you are now. You're not Judge Wagner, are you? Are you?
Well,
What I said earlier. Who puts anyone into things like that? The now is everything. I can't be held responsible for the past.
since when did court become theatrics over testimonies?
All that matters is that man was inside that costume. Is that enough?
Presso... What is this? Hang on. Hang on one second. I got an achievement. That wasn't just continuing the thing. I have, well, 17.6%. Press Old Bags claimed that it was the Nickel Samurai that I saw. Why that one in particular? What is this? Where am I? Huh? Oh wow, so there's some like random achievements. Huh. Okay, that's random. Interesting, they have random little side achievement stuff, so that's kind of cool. Anyway, it would have been convenient for him to wear his costume. I actually agree with Phoenix right now. I was trying to misspoke her. Yeah, she is fun. She's interesting. But I will say, trying to do her accent is a little bit of a pain in the side. Just a little bit. Not horrible. This case would be heck with the old lady in her here, though. Yes, it would. It would never end. I don't think the court case would be able to continue. We would just be at a standstill. And why would that be?
That way no one else can see his face, of course. But there's no advantage.
Excuse me, but there's no advantage for him that I could see. In fact, you would think the costume would make him stand out all the more.
You're such an annoying child. You know that. You disagree with everything I say.
Isn't that what you're always doing to me?
I got that maybe it was more troublesome for him to change in and out of his costume.
I had to go to the post-stage tournament right after crying, you know. Was there anyone else scheduled to appear at the post-ceremony show?
Well, all the contestants were supposed to go on stage in a friendly gesture thing.
And that included the Jammin' Ninja?
Of course it included him. That's why when Unguard came out of Dear Juan's room, I didn't give it a second thought.
I see.
Well, anyway.
He must have worn that Nickel Samurai costume when he... So let me ask you one last time. The person you saw, it was really the Nickel Samurai.
As showy as ever. Haven't I been saying that from the very beginning?
Can I throw in the towel yet? Huh. You don't need to think too hard on this one. Huh?
There's a contradiction in her testimony and it's sitting in plain sight. The question is what this contradiction means for us.
Well, I have to figure out what you're talking about first, but okay.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Right now. How about... I haven't pressed the first item, so... We'll see there. Would you please get on with your testimony?
What's your language, young man? What sort of tone is that to take with an elder? My youthfulness isn't what it used to be, so you should forgive me for everything. If you keep on barking at me like that, I'll start singing at the top of my lungs.
What?
A striking figure by the sea, standing all alone is he. He is the Nickel Samurai.
She's actually singing. Someone help my poor ears. Mr. Edgeworth, can you please do something about this racket?
Witness, I'll give you a piece of gum later if you'll be good. Stick to just the facts.
Okay, you promise, right?
Right, I'll be sending the bill for the chewing gum to your office at a later date.
Mind me to send you a thank you note later too, Edgeworth, old chum. Alright, so my guess is either this statement or this statement. So there's two possibilities. Well, his has his fingerprints though. Must have wore that costume. So present. This is my guess. Did I get it? Perfect. Haha, I figured it out. Please take a look at this.
Yeah, so it's a knife. Big deal. If you're trying to scare me with that, I'll have you know it won't work.
No, that's not my intention at all. That's the knife that was used in the murder, correct? Your Honor, do you know why this piece of evidence is important to this case? You don't even have to ask. It's because the defendant's fingerprints are on it.
Is that what you're driving at?
That is exactly what I'm driving at. What are we driving at, and whose car are we driving? It's a metaphor, Judge. If Mr. Ungard was really in the Nickel Samurai costume at the time of the murder, then it's impossible for his fingerprints to have been left on this knife. Actually, he would have wiped all previous fingerprints on this knife right off. Oh, that's right. The Nickel Samurai wears gloves, doesn't he?
He probably took his gloves off before he began the stabbing.
That's a weird thing to do. And why would he do something like that? To leave his prints on the murder weapon? There's no way he would do something like that.
However, there is one possibility.
Then let's hear your possibility.
It's very simple. The defendant went to the victim's room while in costume as the Nickel Samurai. And at the time, the defendant had no intention to murder. He was probably just going to relax and talk with the victim about the stage show. Which is why he took his gloves off.
But the murder still did take place.
It was well known that there was bad blood between the defendant and the victim.
Yes, I have heard that before. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say about Mr. Edgeworth's theory? So let me get this straight. Edgeworth's theory goes like this. When the defendant went to the victim's room, he had no intention of killing him. Now, up to this point, there are problems with this theory. There is a contradiction. This theory contradicts something in an earlier testimony.
What are you babbling about?
Now, for argument's sake, let's suppose Mr. Ungard was the killer. If that's the case, I think it's impossible for the killer to have gone to the victim's room without intent.
Don't you do?
I don't know what it would be. I don't know what it would be. Do 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 do. I am like, huh? Okay, so I am correct on the knife. I was like, is it the knife? I didn't know if it would take it. Again, this is what, the third time I'm using this piece of evidence? I didn't even get to see what that said. Frack. Sorry, I'm seeing what the fix said because I couldn't see it. This knife was used by Mr. Ungard at dinner. Okay, got it. Thank you. Passed me. Yes, we did establish that. Which means that if my client was, in fact, the killer, then he brought this knife with him when he went to visit Mr. Cordia. I suppose. Goodness. However, you just said it yourself. At that time, the defendant held no intent to murder. If that were true, then why would he bring a knife? He wouldn't, would he? It's true. Why would he? Which means, Mr. Edgeworth, your theory was flawed from supposition one. That's a word. And one more thing. If the murderer was wearing the costume at the time of the murder, then there should be glove marks left on the knife. which means that the defendant's fingerprints shouldn't be all over the like bees on a hive. True. And that brings me to my final point. This knife was planted by the real killer to hide their identity and mislead us. Order, I say. Order in the court. Was this knife really planted by the killer? Why would the murderer do such a thing? To hide the murder method to frame and guard? Yeah, probably frame. To frame my client, Mr. On Guard, of course. To frame.
Aren't you forcing the interpretation just a little too hard on this one?
No? But we just established that the witness saw the Nickel Samurai in costume. And if that were true, then there shouldn't be a single fingerprint on this knife. Witness?
Looks like I made your life a tiny bit more difficult, huh, Edgy Poo?
Witness, did you or did you not really see the Nickel Samurai?
Well, I guess at first I might have forgotten, but...
Are you saying you mixed up Mr. On Guard with the Nickel Samurai, his character on TV?
I mean, I can't really do anything about that now. Look, I was waiting around in front of their doors because, well, I wasn't waiting around for the Nickel Samurai, that's for sure.
Good. Alright, let's get into this. She wasn't waiting for the Nickel Samurai? Alright then. Who were you waiting around for then?
That's top secret to anyone outside of security.
I have a feeling that you were waiting for Mr. Concordia. Am I correct, witness?
The way you think you're a sad amateur with a terrible case of nearsightedness.
Amateur me? What am I an amateur of? So Old Bag was waiting around in front of the victim's room. But it doesn't sound like she was waiting to catch a glimpse of Mr. Cordia.
Maybe, Phoenix. Maybe the Old Bag was waiting around for that person.
It is who I think Mia is hinting at. It's certainly possible. Miss Old Bag, were you waiting for this person to come out of the victim's room? Weren't you? My assumption is this Adrian. Who is this person? This is Adrian Andrews, Mr. Unguard's manager. But why would the defendant's manager be in the victim's room?
It seems that this is the latest rumor in circulation, Your Honor.
Oh, this is, I see. The judge seems to be really into the article, if it can be called such a thing. Then this manager with the AA, initials AA, are you saying it's...
Adrian Andrews? Without a doubt, the witness thought so as well.
Looks like you found me out. Well, that's fine. I can throw away this whole sworn just confidentiality stuff then.
Witness? What in the world are you?
Watch out, Phoenix. I got a bad feeling about this. Very bad feeling.
I got some information, some very secret information from a certain source. So that's why I was doing my own little investigation. In secret, of course.
But what for?
Oh, just for myself. Personal reasons and all that.
Well, Mr. Edgeworth, how will you proceed from here?
I really don't want to do this, however, I simply cannot let this point slide.
I see. Very well then. Witness, please testify about this secret information.
Get ready. This is gonna take the winds out of you youngins.
Sure, we're all capable of handling this. Really, it's not like we're 10 years old. Goodness, Old Bag. Secret information.
That Unguard is one evil, evil man. He thought he could ruin poor Juan by causing a huge scandal. So to do that, he sent his own manager to get in close with Juan. I cannot condone such dirty tricks, so I took action. Oh, and this is top secret. You got that? Nobody else but you and me know yet, okay? You sure about that?
The defendant sent his manager? What a distasteful topic for this court. That was a great slide, Judge. Holy frick, Judge. I did not expect that.
What? No, but he's an old gossip. And isn't there a saying? The truth is never pleasant.
Goodness.
Big.
Never heard that one before. Mr. Edgeworth, what about this Adrian Andrews person?
We have looked into this matter and found that the truth the article proposes is in fact baseless gossip.
But should this be true, this proves that the defendant did bear ill will towards the victim. So this means I have to smash this rumor once and for all. Now then, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness.
Be careful, the old bag seems rather excited right now.
That's right. On guard is nothing but your average, full, foul-blooded youth.
Well, as the old saying goes, you've gotta burn old bags with fire. Time to fire up the afterburners and hit the highway to danger zone. Where am I? Where did I transport to? Did I go back in time? What is the danger zone? Oh my goodness, where am I? Where did I go? I really went back in time, man. Oh boy. I don't know the full context of that, but it's definitely a reference to something. One evil man, he thought he could ruin by causing a huge scandal. Oh, a scandal? What do you mean by that?
You're a dim-witted one, aren't you? I can't believe you don't know what a scandal is. Honestly, what are they teaching kids in middle school these days?
No, I wasn't asking what the word scandal means. Even I know that much.
Well, that on guard thought he could own a monopoly on popularity.
So to do that, he sent the manager to close one. You don't have any proof that Mr. Ungod did any such thing.
You must be suffering from shock, the shock of hearing the truth. And now since you're in so much shock, you can't do anything right.
You're right, I can't do anything. But boy, do I wish I could do something about you.
Alright then, Sonny, show me what you got. Can you show me proof that Mr. Ungod didn't battle any will towards Juan?
I don't know about that one, Chief.
I do not know, Slim, I am.
I don't think so. I don't have anything to offer.
See, just as I thought. You were lecturing me about saying things without proof.
You don't have any either, lady.
You're just giving me a free pass to say whatever I want. Whatever I want, whenever I want. Silly boy.
Me and my big...
That's the way the cookie crumbles for you, anyway.
True, so I took action. So what do you mean by I took action? Phoenix, sometimes you gotta break the rules. Do her Marvel vs. Capcom. Yeah. That would be very funny.
Like I already told you, I was lying in wait close to the crime scene. Once that slimy woman came out of Juan's room, I was going to capture her and teach her a good lesson. Something you young'uns need.
You were going to teach her a good lesson?
I was going to make her eat the damaged beams of my ray gun. Like this.
No, stop.
Well, it was too bad that the woman didn't come through the door that night.
Oh, this top secret, no one else but you and me know yet. Wait.
What? I'm a busy woman. Tea time with the kids is over.
Secret information that no one else knows yet. If that's true, then how do you know this secret information?
Huh? Well, that's because I'm a pro. Yes, that's it. It's a secret. Even if you drill a hole in my brain, you'll never find out.
How in the world did that old bag get such a secret piece of information? Press further. If you don't be a good... Nope, I'm not saying that. You won't get to go home today.
Edgeboo, what are you doing? Help me.
What do I have to do with this?
Just do this for me. You'll get your...
Nope. Where am I? Where have I gone to? I feel like I have gone back... Where is this dimension that I have dropped into? Yeah, that was like, nope. Not saying that one, Chief. Nope. Nope. That's not my goal right now. No, thank you.
I don't want to, Reward, but you don't leave me with much of a choice.
Oh, thank you.
The witness should have gotten her information from anywhere. Could have gotten her information from anywhere. It's even possible that it was the spontaneous made-up inside the witness's head.
And he lectures me on reckless blabbering? As long as we don't know where this information came from, it's quite a waste of time to focus on this line of questioning. It's just a court case, but I feel it feels weird, that's all I have to say. There has to be something I could use to figure it out. Sounds like just another tidbit of gossip, doesn't it?
But you can't just ignore it either. It makes your client look bad either way.
Well, I don't think I heard anything really out of the ordinary just now.
There has to be something we can catch her on.
Yeah, and when I find it, I'm going to present the heck out of it. Okay, hang on. Alright, so I think it's this. I'm gonna save, but yeah, it's this court case. I don't know what is happening in this freaking trial. What is the second game? What happened? Alright. Present. So no one else is supposed to know this secret information, correct? If that's true, then why do you know it, Miss Olbeck?
Why are you looking at me like that? Stop that.
Witness. I hate to say it, but this is how you came to acquire your secret info, isn't it? So on the night of the murder, tabloid article about the victim was in the case. Dude's this. This case managed to feel like a hostage without having to deal with my situation. Yeah, well, Maya got out herself, so we gotta be proud of Maya that she was able to do that all on her own, with no help. Because you have to remember, if they try to do anything, Maya could be in danger, so there's that whole thing. That's why you told Gumshoe. The investigating reporter, lot of heart. Oh yes, I remember that mischievous girl. She reported that she had lost a certain note she had written to herself. She reported such a thing? On that piece of paper, she had written down some of her outrageous impressions about the relationship between the victim and Miss Andrews.
What? Outrageous ideas, you say?
No, I said impressions.
Then everything written on this piece of paper is completely meaningless?
Ah, that's it. That's the note.
No, you see, this is something completely different.
So yeah, Maya's free and she's avoiding having to deal with Olbeck, so she's reading in my book. Yeah, I'm just glad that she escaped. I hope she gets a burger after this case. That's all I have to say, because she enjoys burgers. She did not deserve the situation that she got put into.
This is my top secret groceries to buy. Miss Olbeck.
Then are you the one who took Miss Hart's note?
I'm a huge fan of wands, that's why. The infamous puppy-haired whippersnapper. She's working with that evil Ungard. She said so herself. Ungard, I'm his sidekick. She was all happy, smiled like a silly duck. I was only checking what she had written. Edgeboo, you believe me, don't you? I was only trying to help out like the angel I am.
You sure about that?
It was only a little piece of paper. I've never taken anything else before.
You really should have come with a supply of cheese to match your vintage wine.
Well, it was only a piece of paper. I suppose we can overlook this just once. She looks like she's really sorry. Should I forgive her? Pile more pressure. If I let her up on her now, she'll get away. I have to find some way to inflict a deafening blow to the prosecution. Witness, you said that the only thing you stole was that note. Is that correct? Is this correct?
Stole? Why didn't you listen more carefully, you annoying brat? I saved this piece of paper from the terrible lonely trash can, that's all.
You're lying, dang it, and I can prove it.
Are you putting my credibility under scrutiny again?
Yes, sir, Bob. Miss Oldbag. I don't believe that the note is the only thing you stole that night. Ta-da! Miss Oldbag. That note was written with a camera inside its case, wasn't it? A camera? Yesterday, Lotta Hart was raising a huge stink over her camera. She kept saying something like, "My sweetie, $1,600 camera disappeared on me." Why, witness.
What is it, Gramps?
If you have that note, then it's only logical that you have the camera too.
Grr. Looks like you found me out again, Sonny. Is this the camera you're looking for?
That's...
What? Even though I look like this, I'm still a person, you know. I still eat meals like you. I fall in love and borrow things from people.
I love the quote-unquote of borrows. The woman was like, "Yes, I did do it, so..." I'm sorry, but that's very hilarious, and no one can say otherwise. I think your definition of borrow is a little off.
I saw that woman's business card, and that's when I noticed it said, "Slimebag Celebrity Photographer Extraordinaire." Well, when I saw it, I had to know what sort of picture she had taken. I'm a professional security guard. It's my business to know these things.
Holy moly. Bailiff, check this camera's photos, hurry. We must examine them at once. True. You don't know if it relates to anything that happened in the case. Oh, Bible. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what do we have?
There's only one photo that seems to be relevant to this case.
Please present it to the court. Wow, he is a lot... Like, that is a big costume. This is the Nickel Samurai.
See, I told you, that's the guy I saw.
This proves that the witness was not lying earlier about this matter. Otto's photo, picture taken in the hallway right after the murder. What does this all mean, Mr. Edgeworth?
This photo by itself does not prove that the person in it is the defendant. However, in his own confession, Mr. Ungard clearly stated that at the time of the murder, he was still in his Nickel Samurai costume.
If that is the case, then this Nickel Samurai is...
the defendant.
Joy. Ungard is just having... If I think Oldbag is a problem, my own defendant is a problem. But how did it come to this? I think this brings us to the end. We have examined every piece of evidence thoroughly. Final comments, Mr. Wright? The court will consider them before we close. Do you agree that this photo is decisive evidence against your client? If this photo really is decisive, then we're done for. But if I raise an objection here and blow it, then I would have put Maya's life in jeopardy. Can't make a mistake here. This is the only road out of this mess. This photo that Lotta took, there's something strange with it. There's something strange with this photo.
I knew this was coming, right?
Your thoughts, Mr. Edgeworth?
I think we can all agree that there's nothing strange with this photo. There's no way for the defense to debunk this photo, even with a bunker buster.
Debunked with a bunker buster? Is that what you were planning to do, Mr. Wright? Anyway, please look at the photo one more time. If you really believe you can honestly find something wrong with this photo, Then you should only need one chance, correct? Well, I have to find something wrong with this photo. I can't let this chance go by. Well, yeah, because there's a lot of things on the line. Where in the heck did she take this photo from anyway? It's all out of focus. Why can't she take a good shot, especially when it counts? Now then, let's hear your objection. What about this photo is strange? This is weird. I would like to direct the court's attention to this one area right here. What are you pointing to? His ankles? Yeah, because look at it. It's like he's wearing clothes too big for him. If you could see this person's ankles, that would be one thing. However, you can't. And what does that mean? The costume person in this photo could not have been Mr. On Guard. What is the meaning of this?
I wonder if you would care to elaborate with actual facts, that is.
Let's take a look at the Nickel Samurai's poster. Yeah, look. His feet! You can see his feet! Because if it's supposed to fit on guard, it wouldn't drag like that. That'd be really weird. Please pay particular attention to the area around the bottom of the hakama. Right here. His socks. You can see his socks. Exactly. However, in this photo, the Nickel Samurai is clearly holding his hakama up just to walk. There's only one explanation for this. The person inside this costume is clearly much shorter than the defendant. True, because then we would see their feet. Because it's supposed to fit him, man. Imagine playing this main character and doing fight scenes, and you can't even fight because the costume's too big. Alright, I think I've turned things around for myself this time.
That's curious.
Huh? What is?
Edgeworth is unusually calm today.
That's true.
He's just letting the trial run itself, as if he's only along for the ride.
Along for the ride? What do you mean by that?
I can only guess that perhaps he doesn't feel under attack at all.
He doesn't feel under attack? Then I haven't damaged his case at all? Well, who knows what he is. Mr. Edgeworth, where does this leave us? Okay, is he the judge, and not you, Judge? If this person in this photo is not mad on guard, then everything the prosecution has tried to prove has become meaningless.
I figured it would come to this.
What?
Right, I have something I want to ask you. I think you have proven that the person inside this costume is not mad on guard. In that case, who is this a photo of?
Who is the person wearing the Nickel Samurai costume?
Don't stress over this, Phoenix. It's very simple. What you should be focusing on is Edward's attitude, don't you think?
Yeah, why is he so calm? Mr. Wright, let's hear your thoughts. This is worrying. This be a worrying thing. Who is this person in this photograph? Well, the assumption would be her. Adrian Andrews? If you want to know who that Nickel Samurai is, it's none other than this woman.
And why would you say it must be Miss Andrews? What in the world points you to her?
For starters, she's short. Well, thanks, buddy. And she can freely move in and out of Mr. Unguard's room. Finally, she had dinner with Mr. Ungard that night. And how does that all add up? Means that it makes it very easy for her to get a certain item. A certain knife with Mr. Ungard's fingerprints all over it. The knife that was used as a murder weapon.
Why don't you just say what it is you want, Wright?
I have to do this now. This is my last chance to turn things around. The defense moves to indict Miss Adrian Andrews in the murder of Juan Cordia. It was Miss Andrews who tried to frame the defendant for the crime. Okay. Order. Looks like this trial has hit a most unexpected development. Mr. Edgeworth.
Yes, Your Honor?
This court is issuing a subpoena for Miss Adrian Andrews. A verdict cannot be passed without first hearing her testimony. Alright, this is it.
This is kind of bad for us.
Huh? What do you mean?
Adrian Andrews is summoned to court as a witness. Means that the trial will go on for another day.
One more day? If I don't get a verdict today, then Maya... Now then, we shall set Miss Andrews' testimony for tomorrow. What am I supposed to do? The judge is about to adjourn the court.
I don't know.
I guess we'll see. Probably the judge testifies behind this madness, but the good news is it just calls a recess. Okay, we're not... Thank you. Wait and see. You have to do something. The trial must go on. But I don't have anything left. No evidence, no nothing. Now then, the court will adjourn for today.
Thank you, Edgeworth. You saved us.
I abhorred wasting such valuable time.
I think because Edgeworth, maybe Gumshoe told him about Maya's situation, so he's keeping things going for Maya's sake. I would assume so. Edgeworth? Because, yeah, he may be a cocky, smug 25-year-old, but he does care about people, and Maya, who believed in him before, so I think he would want to help her.
Your Honor, I request that you please continue with today's trial.
But we cannot continue due to this unexpected development.
Unexpected development? I think you underestimate me, Your Honor.
And what do you mean by that?
That Mr. Phoenix Wright would slave his way to subpoenaing Miss Adrian Andrews is all happening according to the plan, even if Wright was a bit slow to catch on.
What? What is the meaning of your statement, Mr. Edgeworth?
Miss Adrian Andrews is currently waiting in the prosecutor's lobby.
Thank you.
She's the next witness.
Everything was planned out in advance by that man?
Somehow I knew there was no way Edgeworth would overlook Miss Andrews. Looks like this battle is far from over.
Exactly. Thank you, Edgeworth, even though you're a pain in my side. Very well, we will call the next witness. However, before we proceed, we shall take a 10-minute recess. Please prepare your witness in that time, Mr. Edgeworth. The court will now take a 10-minute recess. Thank you, Judge. To be continued right now. Yay! We got through the first half of the trial, now we get to go into part 2. March 22nd, 2:14 p.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 3.
Dude, I can't believe that Adrian. No way, not cool elected Adrian Andrews.
She's your manager. It would have been very easy for her to pull this off. The only person who had been easy access to the knife you used at dinner was, well, her.
So after the ceremony during the break, huh?
You slept in that.
I was sleeping like a log the entire time.
See, she could have also easily planted the blood-covered button in your hatama.
Because she was the one that came to wake me up? Then, dude, you're saying it was really her?
Yes, she is the real killer. She's the one who murdered Juan Cordia.
But why? I thought she was buds with Juan.
She has her own agenda.
Her own agenda? What in the world are you talking about?
I'm sure you'll see by the time this trial's over. Be alright, I'll get you acquitted by the end of the day.
Give me a verdict that's refreshing like a spring breeze, okay, Mr. Lawyer Dude? Phoenix, you think her motive is related to Celeste Impact's missing note, right?
Yes. Goodness. Holy moly. Alright. Miss Andrews depended on Miss Impacts as her strength and reason to live. But then Miss Impact suddenly died. Sounded like she left a note, and the person she thought to have hidden it
Is Juan Cordia the victim of this murder?
That's why I think that Miss Andrews got close to Mr. Cordia. I'll have to get this note back, because I can't say that word, or I'll get in trouble with YouTube.
That sounds plausible. But one thing bothers me.
What?
Who was it that first told us about their relationship? Better stated, Miss Andrews' dependency issues with regards to Miss Impact's.
It was Edgeworth.
It looks like he's still the one in command of this ship. But don't let your guard down yet.
What did I miss? Was it the manager then? Well, currently that's what they assume. Obviously you were in guard. I guess pretty much we subpoenaed to have Miss Adrian Andrews to come in to testify. Edgeworth saved our skins because obviously they don't know Maya is free. So he gave a 10-minute recess because Adrian Andrews is waiting in the prosecutor's lobby. And we're just discussing right now that, the only reason we know about the relationship, dependency that Miss Adrian Andrews had on Celeste Impacts was told by Edgeworth. So it's like, he's still got complete control of the courtroom right now. And she said, don't let your guard down yet. Because, yeah, that's weird. So 2:25 p.m., District Court, courtroom number 3. So yes, we're on the second part of the court case. Woo! This is the first court case out of 2? I think there's 2. Yeah, because we have another investigation, and then... So obviously, it's not going to be finished today. We're going to be doing a little bit. We're getting this court case done. This first trial. And then we'll get to... Not court case. This first trial, then we'll get to the second trial. In a second. Not today. The next time I stream this. Goodness, that was weird. Anyway, court will now reconvene. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you please.
The prosecution calls the witness subpoenaed by this court. Miss Adrian Andrews, the person who discovered the crime in Mr. Juan Cordia's room. What is your occupation? I am the manager of the defendant in this case, Mr. Ungard.
I see. Now then.
Before we begin, Your Honor, I have one request.
Yeah, sure. What is it?
I'm sure everyone in this room is wondering the same thing, and would love to find out more about my relationship with the victim. After all, it was the topic of a certain weekly magazine recently.
No, I had no idea what you mean. I never even heard of Gossip Land. Judge. If the judge was ever a prosecution witness, he'd be doing all my work for me.
Anyway, I was wondering if you could please tell us about your relation to the victim. Yes, I was seeing Mr. Cordia. I was also aware of the rivalry that existed between Matt and Juan. But this was private matter between Juan and myself.
So it was a fry and bait matter, or was that a bait and fry? Reminds me of fishing.
But I didn't kill him. No one is accusing you of that. I think there's someone who would beg to differ.
You don't say. I think we all understand your relationship with the victim now, Miss Andrews.
Very well then. Witness, please testify to the court about what happened when you discovered the murder that had taken place.
Alright, here we go. When I found the body.
It was time for the show to start, so I went to get Matt from his room. After that, I went to Juan's room, and there was his dead body, and I was in shock. What I saw was naturally the exact same scene as in the crime scene photo. I felt as though I was about to faint, so I poured myself a glass of juice.
But you never drink it? It's kind of weird. You poured yourself a glass of juice?
Yes, sadly I didn't remember not to touch things at the scene of the crime. And I disturbed the crime scene by moving this one thing. And that is when the fingerprints of the wine glass were made, Your Honor.
I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness.
Phoenix. She's the one who was cool and collect customer, and she has the brains to match.
Yes, I know.
In order to catch a person like her, you have to avoid head-on confrontation. You should disrupt her pacing.
Disrupt her pacing?
She's the type of woman who's easily thrown off by things inconsistent with her thinking, so you have to attack when she least expects it. The instant you let up on your offense is the instant this trial's over, understand?
Yes, ma'am. Goodness. Let me say right here. There we go. It was time for the show to start, so I went to get Matt from his room. Okay. And what was Mr. Ungard doing at the time?
He was taking a nap. He was worn out from his mini-performance as the Nickel Samurai during the ceremony.
Mr. Ungard did say he was taking a nap. Then I guess you could say it could not have been taken out of his room, yes?
Excuse me? What are you?
Right, I thought years of school would have taught you how to construct a sentence.
If you can't make a sensible sentence with a subject, then I will make one for you. Watch.
Did you, Miss Andrews, remove Mr. Ungard's knife from his room?
No.
Subject, verb, object, right? Did you skip basic grammar? This witness may continue. Things never change. Never, never, never change. Goodness, this relationship between these two. And it's just like, oh, the witness is just in the middle. I went to Juan's room. And why did you do that?
As a friendly gesture, Juan was to make an appearance with the other heroes.
So the show was supposed to be a show of friendship, huh? Press further. Is that the only reason?
I beg your pardon? What are you implying?
You had a certain goal in mind when you started to get close to him, correct? So perhaps you had a more personal matter to discuss with the victim?
Sorry, but I can't have any such intentions in mind at that time.
I can't get her to talk without a strong piece of evidence, I guess. May we continue, witness? What did you see when you got to his room? Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. I was in shock. You were in shock?
What? Was I not supposed to be?
Miss Andrews is a very calculating person, and despite how close they were, I doubt she had romantic feelings for Mr. Cordia.
Anyone randomly stumbling upon a dead body would be in shock. Anyone can seriously expect that a young beauty like her would be not be in shock.
Goodness, where did that come from? I don't know where the random thing of... I guess it just worked. Somehow I don't think beauty has anything to do with being shocked or not. I see. It was naturally the exact same scene as in the crime scene photo. This is the photo you're referring to, correct?
Yes, the one with the knife lodged in his chest.
And the guitar case was like this too?
Yes, it was open and empty, of course.
And then what did you do next, witness?
And what did you do next, witness?
Felt as though I poured myself a glass of juice. Juice?
Yes, there was a bottle of tomato juice on the table, so I helped myself.
But you didn't drink any of it, did you?
Huh?
There was no lip marks left on this wine glass, it's just that anyone drank from it.
I wasn't feeling terribly great, so I set the glass down without drinking it.
Miss Andrews, I would like to confirm with you one more time. When you discovered the dead body of Juan Cordia, you were in great shock. And that when you poured yourself a glass of juice, and that's when you poured yourself a glass of juice, correct?
And what of it? My mind really was a complete blank at the time.
Your mind was a complete blank. I didn't think that that was possible for you.
Aren't you rude today? I was so dazed that I made one careless mistake. That one thing.
What one thing?
Never mind. It was no big deal.
What was she starting to say just now? Press further. Miss Andrews, I'm convinced that as you said, you made a mistake at the scene of the crime. What I really want to know is what this mistake was.
Actually, so would I. I'm sorry. It's kind of embarrassing. When I set the glass down on the dresser, I accidentally knocked the flower vase over.
You did? Flower vase? Are you talking about the one on the floor in the crime photo? This mess of glass shards? That is a very random thing.
It was originally on top of the dresser, but when I bumped into it with my elbow, it fell onto the guitar case.
Why did you withhold such an important piece of information?
I'm sorry. I thought that since the crime scene was already in disarray, the people would simply assume the vase was just another part of the mess.
Interesting. Looks like yet another fact has come to light. Here, please add this and anything else you have to reveal to your testimony.
I'm sorry, but I have nothing more to add. I didn't touch anything else.
Why are you saying what? Oh, it doesn't sound like there's any glaring contradictions in her testimony just now.
Warning you earlier that she would not be correct so easily. The only way to make her is to
keep on the offensive and not let her.
The only way you're going to catch her is with very strong, decisive evidence.
To find something, I just have to for Maya's sake. I would guess, because it's with that in mind. Blah, blah. I was the one who knocked the fire where it fell into the guitar case. Because the guitar case is wet, only on the top, though. See, there's some water, but only on top of the lid. Which, if it was open, why wouldn't it be inside the case? That's kind of suspicious. Suspicious. Present. You testified that you knocked the flower vase over. Is this correct?
Yes.
And are you sure it fell onto the guitar case?
Is there some problem with what I said?
It's not some problem, it's a major problem. It's true that the top of the guitar case was wet with water. However, that's exactly what is so strange. Miss Andrews, you testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case. However, if that was true, the case should have gotten wet on the inside, not the outside. I didn't even know her pants was that type of green. That's very true. Furthermore, there's one more strange thing about this guitar case. And what is that? Let's take another look at that crime scene photo. The remains of the vases are scattered on the floor. And what is wrong with that? If the guitar case was open with that when the vase fell, the glass shards should be inside, not outside the case. Yeah, it's true.
What is your point, Wright? That the case was closed at the time the vase was knocked over? Is that all?
Yes. That is important, but apparently no. Think back to what Miss Andrews testified to. She said that other than the vase, she didn't touch anything else. Yes, that's right. She did implicitly say she didn't touch the guitar case.
But this whole matter with the
I can't English. Goodness.
But this whole matter with the guitar case is a dead end. The bright red guitar was found at the studio. It has no bearing on this case at all.
That may be very well be, however. The empty guitar case does seem to have no relation to this case, does it? It seems that there is no deeper meaning to the guitar case. Oh shoot, her argument is cracking. Yeah. Make her testify. Well, Mr. Wright, do you think we need to hear more details about the guitar case? I would assume so, yes? The empty guitar case. I believe this is a critical piece of
piece of the puzzle. I can't believe anyone would reach for stars like this, but it is you.
Wow, you're so proud of me, Edgeworth. Thanks. But yeah, her argument is cracking at the seams. You're just hammering away until it snaps. And then we get the full truth. I can't believe I'm doing this either. Alright then, I'll follow along for now. Miss Andrews, please testify to the court about the guitar case.
Yes, Your Honor.
Holy moly. The guitar case.
I don't remember too clearly because I was a bit dazed, but I suppose I must have opened the guitar case after I knocked the vase over. Not a big deal though, right? The case was empty after all. As for why I opened the case, even I don't know.
I have a guess for why she did that, but we'll have to see if I can even use that evidence. It looks like this really wasn't a very important point.
This wastefulness is truly a familiar feeling by now that is almost comforting.
Anyway, I'll just go ahead and start the cross-examination.
Using any way to change the topic, a convenient escape for a weak man.
Okay. Why? What was that for? Clearly, I suppose. As for why, this interests me. Well, was that because you were shocked and dazed at discovering the victim's body?
Yes, that's probably it.
I'm not going to get anywhere if I continue pressing her like this. The only way to make her talk is with evidence. I guess I should give it a try.
Come on, Phoenix, we can't afford to let her up now.
Could have probably tripped her. They're flirting. Yeah, it's a funny flirting, I guess. Like, the undertones with that mindset, it is very funny how, like, it weaves in together, which you kind of wonder, did the creators think of it that way, or did it not come through that way? It's very curious. I wasn't planning on letting up, but
she's at her weakest now. This is our chance.
Yeah, if we had a weapon to hit her with.
I'm sure a weapon is hiding somewhere in the court record, waiting to be found.
Okay. I'm gonna save, and I'm going to attempt to see if this randomly... Nope, that didn't work. I thought I'd guess. Can I be blamed? Oh. Okay. I love this game sometimes where it's like, okay, we're getting into the random things. Oh yeah, because it only bears his fingerprints. Okay, fine. Makes sense. There's no way you're the one who opened the guitar case.
Why would you say that?
It's elementary, my dear. Goodness, what is happening? That was a freaking Sherlock Holmes reference. But the only fingerprints on the guitar case are those of the victims.
Ah.
What is it, Miss Sanders?
You shouldn't assume that I must have left fingerprints just because I touched the case.
What do you mean?
What if I were to tell you that I was wearing gloves at the time?
Gloves? But why would you be wearing gloves at the time?
It was the night of the award ceremony, so of course I dressed up for the occasion. Yes, now I remember. I am almost sure I was wearing a pair of thin gloves.
I see. Well, Mr. Wright, it seems the witness was wearing gloves at the scene of the crime. That's strange. You're wearing gloves? Isn't that a little strange?
Why is that strange? Do you have something that would prove I was not wearing gloves at the time?
is the only thing I can think of, but how do you... This way that the court just goes, haha. Okay, so this. Yeah, sorry, I was looking at this guy because I'm like, huh? What? My brain is forgetting that we looked at this thing. Why is this so important? I have your proof right here, this wine glass.
The wine glass?
You left your fingerprints very clearly on this wine glass.
Ah.
Even if you took your gloves off when you poured yourself this glass of juice, wouldn't you think it was just a little strange that you put your gloves back on just to open the guitar case? Her glass is broke. Order.
Looks like you hit the nail on the head this time.
Huh? What do you mean?
I believe the guitar case plays a very important role here.
But it's just an empty case.
I wonder if it really was empty, though.
But the guitar, the bright red guitar, was at the studio.
Phoenix, drop all your presumptions. What was in the guitar case that was not the bright red guitar?
You don't mean it was a big white guitar? Wait, that's not right either. Oh my gosh, are we making an Elvis reference right now? What is with all the references in this freaking thing? All of a sudden. I admit it would be unnatural for someone to do that. So the witness was not wearing gloves, despite the fact that that was on the case.
Your Honor, this is obviously the defendant's unusual misdirection. The defense's unusual misdirection tactic at work, steering the court towards an unrelated topic and lull us into his misguided.
No, Your Honor. Please recall that Miss Andrews had testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case, which means that the case was closed when the crime took place. However, it was wide open in this photo of the crime scene. I'm sure this guitar case has some relation to the murder.
If you are so sure, Wright, then I'm sure you can somehow substantiate your outrageous claim, correct? Oh, please enlighten us as to why the guitar case had anything at all to do with this murder.
Can you do that, Mr. Wright? Well, let's suppose for a second that the bright red guitar was not the only thing that could have been in that case. The bright red guitar not being the only thing? You don't mean to suggest that a bright black guitar was in the case? Oh my gosh.
So you intend to push your theory that the case was not empty? Is that it, Wright?
I wouldn't say something I didn't intend to prove.
Deflate that head of yours. You haven't proved anything yet. Now, let's have it. What was inside the case at the time of the murder?
Like, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
Goodness. What was inside this case at the time of the murder? Huh? Why is that the thing? I am so confused. Sorry that I'm like trying to understand why this is the thing that is supposed to be the evidence. Sometimes the evidence here in this game, it's like, what? This is a photograph. Yes, but what is important is what it's in that picture, Your Honor. In this picture? It doesn't take a genius to see what I mean. What I'm proposing is, inside the guitar case was the nickel samurai, the hero's very own costume. Why in blazes would it be in there? Why would it be in there? What? That's my expression. What? Mr. Wright, explain yourself.
Right, are you saying that the witness opened the guitar case to take out a costume? But at the same point would there have been doing something like that?
That insane point would be to wear the costume, of course. Oh, because it comes out the frickin' room? Is that what you're saying? Because he's asleep. Oh my goodness, this game. Miss Andrews put it on to hide her identity so she can make her escape. After all, you couldn't let anyone see you leave, could you, Miss Andrews?
I refuse to accept your theory. Do you have anything to support such a preposterous idea?
Just outside the door was an investigative photographer who was starving for a big scoop. And in the end, she managed to get the shot, correct? You mean this photo? That is something to behold, I guess. Order! Looks like we've wandered into quite another mess again, haven't we?
Nice job, Phoenix.
Well, you know my strategy. Speak first, think later. I don't know if that is a great thing for a lawyer to have, but hey, I'm not a lawyer, so I can't tell you that. So the real murderer was hiding inside a costume.
Wait a second, Your Honor. The Nickel Samurai's costume would have been Mr. Matt Ungart's. Why would something of the defendant's be in the victim's room? And inside the guitar case of all places?
True. This is a little baffling. Mr. Wright, the court would like to hear your thoughts. I do not know. What was the Nickel Samurai costume doing inside the guitar case? It was a spare costume? Mr. Wright did not take his costume off during the Bright period. In that case, the costume we are talking about was a spare one.
What?
Then are you saying that on the night of the murder, there were 2 Nickel Samurai costumes at the Gatewater Hotel? I love that we have no inclination about this. How does anyone figure that out? Yes, that is what I'm saying. And how do you explain the costume that was inside the guitar case?
It would mean that the victim himself brought the spare to the ceremony on purpose.
But why? The victim, Mr. Cordia, was the jamming ninja. Why would he secretly bring the Nickel Samurai's spare costume with him? What could be the reason behind such a peculiar act? And therein lies the sticking point. Jai.
What are you mumbling to yourself about now? Have you just been rambling all this time without any sheer sense of inner monologue?
Huh? No, I just... Mr. Wright, please explain yourself. What do you think the victim had the Nickel Samurai's spare costume? You were doing some research. What does that mean? What research were you doing? Was it related to the frickin' Edgeworth and Phoenix? Goodness. Well, he came back, and we found out that there was a second Nickel Samurai spare costume.
Phoenix, are you sure you can explain this one? Think carefully before you answer, and then answer with the gusto I believe in you.
Boy. What is these last things? Yes, it was. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I got it right. I was like, it's gotta be that I'm assuming it's that research. Goodness. Alright, this is what I think. The reason the victim brought the Nickel Samurai's spare costume to the hotel was... for this? That's my guess. What is this? On the night of the murder, after the stage show, the Nickel Samurai was going to hold a special press conference. A press conference? Yes, the Nickel Samurai was supposed to confess something at this conference.
I heard about this as well. For once, you're not making something up, right?
But what struck me as strange was that Mr. Ungard himself said he had no idea he was supposed to be holding a press conference that night. Yeah, that is weird. But how can that be? The way I see it, that can mean only one thing. The conference was set up by none other than the victim, Mr. Juan Cordia himself. The victim? Yes. The spare nickel samurai costume was prepared for that very conference. Mr. Cordia was going to hold the press conference as the nickel samurai. No, but it is real. After the dev team looked up first game online and saw the community run Edgeworth Phoenix, they decided to focus on that on the second game. Huh. Team looked up the first game online and saw the community run.
Well, it makes sense.
That's why they act the way they do? I think it's interesting. I don't know if, like I said, romance is not an impossibility for these two. Just, it definitely focuses on the relationship. Because we see how Phoenix acts towards Edgeworth when he came back. So there's like a lot of things of, he's probably upset because Edgeworth didn't say anything. He just left, disappeared. Everyone thought he was dead. Because why wouldn't you? He just went away. So he's upset about that. And it's just interesting. The relationship does develop even more. So it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense why they would... Because they work very... They have good dynamic, I guess is the wording I'm trying to say. I definitely think if they lived in the same house that they would drive each other nuts. Mr. Cordy was going to hold the press conference as the Nickel Samurai. He was going to dress up as the Nickel Samurai and hold a conference? But why would the victim do such a thing? That's something I don't quite know yet, however. What I'm concerned with right now is what he intended to reveal at that conference. The Nickel Samurai was going to confess something. And by confess, I'd wager he was going to reveal something about himself. Which means that Juan Cordia, posing as the Nickel Samurai, was going to speak about Matt on guard. Yes, I guess that is what it would mean. But if that's the case, that's not a confession, that's a public disclosure. Miss Andrews? Yeah, that is weird. I didn't know all the details of this case. So it's like, huh?
I can see why you're a pro at what you do.
Pardon me?
Yes, just as you say, the press conference was set up by Juan.
Oh, she's very confident. Miss Andrews, please offer us an explanation for this.
I was the one he asked to help set it up. And the person who prepared the second costume for him, that was also me.
You?
Juan had bet everything on the Jimmy Ninja this year. And if he lost the Grand Prix, he was going to make sure Matt was going down with him. That's what he thought anyway.
Wow. He was going to ruin him, huh? Well, I'm here now. How's everyone doing? Hello. We're doing good. It's nice to see ya. We've had a lot of revelations this time around. This case has been something so far. Not as crazy as the last case, but it's been something.
It looked like somehow Juan had in his hands a secret so powerful that it would destroy Matt's acting career had it been revealed.
What? Yeah, I agree with Wright. What? And do you know what the secret of Mr. On Guard is, Miss Andrews?
That's something only Juan knew. I don't know what it is.
Calling Miss Andrews a murderer because she's killing in that outfit, and she's probably killing. Wow, what a fucking pun, man. Yeah, it's a nice outfit she's wearing. Man, you had to think that through. I see.
I've probably been coming off quite suspicious to everyone. But that's to be expected. I've been trying to protect Matt, after all.
Protect Matt, Mr. On Guard? And yet again, another strange bit of truth comes to light, it seems. Miss Andrews, if you could, please tell the truth about your behavior.
Yes, Your Honor, I understand.
Oi, protecting Matt.
From the moment I saw the crime scene, I had a feeling that Matt was the murderer. Matt had to kill Juan no matter what.
So what did I miss? So I just couldn't let that joke go to waste. Yeah, I would applaud you. What did you miss? How do I say this in simple terms? So this is Adrian Andrews, if you remember from last time. She set up a spare costume of the Nickel Samurai, so, how to put this in... I'm trying to think of how to explain this in a fast amount of time. So, this guy, our client, Nickel Samurai, doing good now with the fever, not just for the cold. Well, that's good that your fever got better. So, Matt, he's the Nickel Samurai. Well, apparently, Adrian was in cahoots with Juan Cordia to get a spare costume of the Nickel Samurai so he could reveal a truth that would destroy Matt Ungard's career. So yeah, that's a thing. And it's like, what?
He didn't even have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. My thoughts were confirmed by the evidence, of course, the button and the knife. But I'm Matt's manager, so I felt that I had to protect him.
This does account for everything.
Well, I am the logical type. We're finally seeing her true self. She's more nervous than a scared rabbit.
The defense can find no faults with this testimony. I'm ready to make a ruling. Please keep that in mind as you cross-examine, Mr. Wright. Looks like somehow everything has swung to the opposite end of the scale again. That just means I have to pull my weight into this and turn her logic upside down. But yeah, so this case has been a hoot. Obviously, this is the end. This is just the first trial. We have a whole investigation and trial, another trial to go through. This case is far from over. I had a feeling Matt was the murderer. That is a very interesting thing to say. Would you say that your intuition... You say that was your intuition speaking to you?
Don't confuse my methods of reasoning with your own.
Irk.
If you want to prove that someone did something, you need 3 things.
3 things?
A motive, an opportunity to commit the crime, and finally, decisive evidence. And if you think these 3 things through, the answer becomes quite clear.
Goodness.
You should already know that, Phoenix.
They didn't teach us that... they didn't teach that to us in school, at least not from what I remember. You went to law school.
May I continue now?
No matter what. Okay. What is that card thing she's fidgeting with? It's clearly not part of the evidence, so I assume it's like a business card. No it's not, actually. It was found in the room, in the hotel room, and she was just so she just decided to mess with it, so she fidgets with it. It's not hers. And it's kind of important. It'll be important later. That's all I have to say to that. It has a connection to things going on. That's all I can tell you. It's more important than it seems. So would you say this need came from the conference?
Yes, do you know why Juan chose that vet in that hotel for the conference? Because that was when he could cause the most damage to the public's beloved Matt Ungard.
And you knew of this plan, didn't you, Miss Andrews?
Yes, because I was the one who set up the conference and prepared the costume.
Oh, is it evidence? Yeah, something like that. Yes, it is. I just can't tell you what yet, because we aren't there yet. I'm pretty sure it'll be in the second half of this case. It'll be revealed. I just can't say now. I don't know every little piece of this case. I know what I knew the beginning and I know the end. I don't know the way to get there, but I know what's gonna happen. But yes, it is evidence. That's all I can say for now. But I'm sure Mr. Ungard himself didn't know anything about the press conference.
Oh, really? Can you show me any proof that he didn't know about the press conference?
Anyway, the most important thing here is that this evidence was not in your testimony. I see. Yep. Yes, I agree, Miss Andrews. Please correct your testimony, if you please.
Grasping at straws now, are we, Mr. Wright?
I got back from watching Land of Bad.
Was it any good?
I don't think I've heard that one. Land of Bad. Oh. Yeah, it's a movie from what I can see. Ah. It just says when a Delta Force team is ambushed in enemy territory, a rookie officer refuses to abandon them. Their only hope lies with an Air Force drone pilot as the eyes in the sky during a brutal 48-hour battle for survival. Yeah, it's new and it's really good. I recommend it. Oh, that's good. It sounds interesting. That might be some, maybe I'll think about that. But I looked it up real quick. I like the synopsis. It sounds interesting. It also just looks tense and it's like, oh no. Yeah, that sounds like heck on earth, I guess. Survive for 48 hours. Eesh. But yeah. One of us might have ever prove I'm right. Oh, my parents love those movies. Well, maybe you can tell them about it. Maybe they'll be like, oh, let's go to the movies. Has Mr. Ungard done something to her or betray you personally? Why do you ask? You were the one who helped Mr. Cordia with his press conference. And the event was supposed to bring down Mr. Ungard, yet you still helped out. The person on trial right now is Mr. Ungard, right? What the witness was thinking, helping the victim with his plan, is none of our concern. In any case, this means that the defendant had a motive to kill. Why do I keep doing this to myself? I don't know. He didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. But didn't you already testify earlier that Mr. Ungard was taking a nap in his room? Are you telling me now that that too was a lie? A lie so you could cover for Mr. Ungard? While still going, oh, I missed the stream. It's okay. We're going for a little bit longer. We're going for the 3-hour mark because I'm trying to finish the trial. So, we're almost there. I like to do these ones in like boxes. So this is the trial, first trial, then we got an investigation, and then we'll have another trial. Hello, welcome, welcome.
I'm not telling you anything of the sort. When I went to get him for the show, he was honestly sleeping. However, as to whether he was sleeping the entire time, that I cannot say.
Goodness.
I was too busy setting up the stage at the time.
I keep trying, but I can't find no flaws with what Miss Andrews has said. Can't say the same for some people in this courtroom, however. The judge is glaring straight at Mia.
He's glaring at you, smart guy.
She can think. She can hear his thoughts. Just waiting for my laundry. Well, that's good. It's good to get that stuff like that done. Oh, you don't want to pile up and become a mess. So you didn't miss much. So you end up winning by missing babbling. Yeah, true, but it's still interesting. But hey, she's at least out of here, so my throat was saved, so I don't have to do miss old bag all the time. We're confirmed by the evidence. You can hardly call the knife decisive evidence. The fingerprints on the knife could very well be a clever camouflage.
Then, what about the button?
The button?
It's clear from the crime scene that the victim and his murderer fought. During the fight, the killer ripped the button from the jamming ninja's costume.
You're talking about this button, correct?
That button was found in the pleats of Matsukama. Isn't that correct? I would think that it makes it very decisive evidence.
Irk. Looks like you were outfoxed again, Mr. Wright. Anyway, that doesn't prove a thing. Please fix your testimony.
I can't stand the sight of a man who can't gracefully accept his defeat.
Thank goodness Mia can still look at me. You're her freaking student. She has to look at you, even if she's disappointed.
With an icy stare, yes.
See? Miss Andrews, for Mr. Wright's sake, please add this information to your testimony. I like wacky characters, but Miss Oldbag and Lotto derail way too much for the case and get real annoying at times. Yeah, but at least Lotto's a little bit more fun than Miss Oldbag. It's fun for a little bit. It's when they take too long in a case, I guess, is when it's a little bit eh. I was torn off during his fight with Matt. How do you know they were... I don't know. I guess we'll see. And how did you know that?
When the ends of the threads of the bun and the costume were mashed up, they were found to fit together perfectly, or so I heard.
I've heard that before too. But why would Miss Andrews know about this case down to such a fine detail?
Don't look at me like that, just because I'm prepared and you are not.
Ark, and I thought I had her this time for sure. Should Wesley do need big of a suit? And then she's lowering up it again. Yeah. Yes, during the case when they are key witnesses. Yes, yeah, maybe. If I wanted to get a PNG of a lawyer costume, it's something I could do. Maybe next time. I'd have to look. I don't think it's impossible. I could probably find a suit. I could probably find a suit. It would be something. I think it would cause a lot of... Well, I don't know. It's not impossible. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. I'd have to look. Yeah, like the blanket for a table from the... Yeah, something like that. I'd have to... Like, obviously, it probably would be something... Well, it'd be funny if it had little arms, because I have an idea in mind for that. If I do that... Get a PNG of Phoenix's hair. No, I don't want Phoenix's hair on my head. That would be so funny. I will... How about this? I will take a picture of that. I will not wear Phoenix's hair. Do you know how much of a pain that would be to draw? Like, to slowly clean off and think, okay, I got this out of the way, now I gotta put it on my head and make it fit. It's like, oh joy. It's not impossible. It would be something to behold. Because he got them ears, man. But I guess I shouldn't judge. I have longer ears right now. I don't know, I thought I had her this time for sure. If there's anything to trip her up on, it has to be here. But where and what? Managers, I felt I had to protect them. What would this be? I'm sure someone has already cropped a clean PNG of Phoenix's hair. His hair is way too iconic. Oh boy. Oh, let me see. Phoenix, right, hair, PNG. Oh my god. There's his Pixel one. There's Roblox hair, because of course there is. Why does someone have to have Roblox? Yeah, he's got some half-breed human elf. Yeah, he's definitely, like I said, it's not the most horrible thing, it's just he definitely has bigger ears. There's a wig. Goodness. Yeah, there is something. Alright, let me... It's gonna be so dumb. Blah, blah, blah. Alright, hang on 1 second. This is gonna be something. Why am I doing this? Oh, well, we'll just do it. Look, a little enjoyable, at least the hair is too much work would be so much. Too much work would be so fun. Oh, that looks interesting, but it's up to you, of course. Oh boy. You guys are not ready. Oh wow, are we doing this now? Yes. You want to see it, that's the only thing. But yeah, look a little objectable, at least are you guys ready? I'm not. Ready? 3, 2, 1. There you go. There's his hair. Are you happy now? I feel like Loki with this hair. Look at this. Are you happy? Are you happy now? Are you happy now? That's amazing. Okay. I guess if you're happy with it. Yep, this is what I have in my head now. Right. Yes, this is what I'm not kidding, this is an actual thing that someone took time to do. I'm a little bit impressed and a little bit worried for their health. They took the time to clean his sprite. Like, I didn't do this at all. I found this literally by looking it up. So yeah, I guess I'll wear this for the... I'm glad you found a face for it, though it was sideways. That's what I thought too. But yeah, this is his actual, like, sprite hair. Like, not, the one over here, but as in, like... If anything, I would assume it's like his court record, profile is where this came from. So yeah. Yeah, if I do this, it gets really bad. Oh boy. I was trying to figure out what the frick I was gonna put this. The button was torn off of Juan during his fight with Matt. Thanks. This line is the best feature. Well, thank you. I'm glad that this is entertaining. Oh boy. Yeah, I love that it's like, oh, I win, I'm on 51st for the dedication. It wasn't that bad. Like I said, if you guys want to look for this yourself, all I had to do was type in Phoenix Wright hair PNG, and this popped up. I am not kidding. That's all you had to do. It's like, why is this a thing that people thought? Yes, I needed to spend time on this. So yeah, I'll wear this for the rest of the stream. Which means until this court case is done, or until this first trial is done, I'll be wearing this. The button was torn off during his... Oh, I guess... Does that count? No. I thought it would work. Okay, game. My tier list is the length of it. Hey, it's funny. It's not a bad thing. I just find it funny that it's like, okay, this beautiful Phoenix Wright hair, it's like, oh, this is why you're 51st. It's like, apparently Phoenix Wright hair is attractive to people. It's like, okay, sure, why not? Alright. Okay, so I'm on the right. This franchise has like 10 games. It has been kept alive for the people who think doing that is worth it. Yeah, it is true. Alright, so I'm on the same wavelength of what this thing wants me to think. Just on a different thing, apparently. It's this. Okay, this is the victim's autopsy report. Clearly states that the cause of death was strangulation by a scarf. Strangulation? The knife stab to the victim was done after the victim had already died. And what does that mean? Let's examine the evidence. This button has the victim's blood on it. Which would mean it was ripped off the costume when?
After the knife was stabbed into the victim.
5 minutes for integrity from Phoenix Wright wig. I guess. A good fan base can carry a game for years. It is true. That's why, like, The Sims 2 and 3 have lasted as long as they have, because the community has made a lot of good content for it. Same thing with something like, what is the game? I can't remember what it's called. What's the frickin' dragon game? The game that keep getting released. I think the people who released Starfall, whatever the frick it's called, they make dragons. Why can't I not remember the name? I can't remember right now. But that game has been kept alive by its community, making different mods and things like that. Exactly, which means Skyrim. That's what it is. Thank you. I couldn't think of the name. I'm like, what is the name? I can see the logo, but I couldn't think of it. Yeah, Skyrim has a lot of mods, and people are very active. So that game's been around for so long and kept in the public eye, and so loved because of its community. I've never played it myself, but even I've heard of it, and people making mods of it. It's really interesting. It's possible that the button was torn off during the victim's final struggle, because the victim was strangled to death in that fight. That's right, Miss Andrews. There's no way this button was ripped off during the struggle. This button was consciously pulled off the victim's body, already dead body. Order. What is the meaning? What is the meaning of this, Wright? So what if the button was torn off the body after the victim had already died? What does that change? Let me ask you one simple question, Mr. Edgeworth. Why was the button torn off? What purpose did that serve? Communities are either the backbone or the downfall of the game's reputation. That is true. That is also true. Because obviously every community has its ups and downs. But yeah, if the community is a majority of people that are very negative, then people aren't going to be as wanting to be involved with the community. Which is sad for something that, you know, has a lot of hard work put in by, like, the developers. I guess another game that has been held by its community would be, like, besides the fact of the developer updating the game all the time, would be Stardew Valley. Obviously, we get free updates from Concerned Ape, which is cool and fantastic, but a lot of mods have been made for the game that people use all the time, and it keeps the game going. We're gonna need to talk about that here another time, man. You can blame everyone else in the chat. They wanted to see Phoenix Wright's hair. So don't blame me. Blame them. I have done nothing. So yes, I have Phoenix's hair now. It's a great hair. See? See? Why was the button torn off? What purpose did it serve? What purpose? Yes, oh my goodness. We now know this button was not torn off during the fight. So the murderer took the time and effort to purposely rip this from the victim's body. This would mean that the murderer had something in mind, wouldn't it? Mr. Wright, does this mean that you know what this murderer wanted to do with this button? What was it? To have a memento of the crime. To pin the criminal on guard. Bad hair, but stacked on top of yours looks off. Yes, it does. Next stream we'll get the suit. Yes, I will do that. That'll be something I get to try. But it was just Stardew. Yeah, it's been a while, but that's just... It might be something I go back to. Whoop, hair just clipped through my hair. But yeah, it might be something. Maybe. Maybe it would be something to do. We'll see. There are things. It might happen. It might happen again. Anything is possible. I'm assuming to pin the crime on guard. That's my guess. There's only one logical reason for doing something like that. It was to pin the crime on Mr. On Guard. There's no way anyone would put a bloodied button in their own pants. That's right, Mr. On Guard was set up. But the real killer, of course. By the real killer, of course. And the real murderer is? Well, Mr. Wright, who in the world is the real murderer killer then? Finally. I can't believe I managed to bring this trial all the way up to this point. Phoenix, you can't let your guard down yet. Not until the very end. The real killer, the person who planned to frame Mr. On Guard, is, I'm assuming, we're gonna have to pick this. Right. Miss Adrian Andrews. I choose you. You are Mr. Cordy's killer. What is the references in this case? What? Miss Oldbag would totally put on a bloody button in her pants. Oh my gosh. Yes, she would. But I don't want to think about that. Order, Mr. Wright. This is a very grave matter. Do you have any evidence that supports your charge? Any evidence? All of the evidence points to Miss Andrews. But how preposterous. You can't stick any of that on me. I can't. Can I? Would you care to test me? Then, what about this knife? The knife was used to stab the victim after he had already been strangled to death. It was used to throw suspicion onto Mr. On Guard, naturally. A knife covered in the defendant's fingerprints could only be taken from his room. And the only one who had dinner with him and knew which knife to take was you. Then, what about the button that was found in Matt's hakama? This button was removed from the victim's body after he had already died. The only people who could have done so were the person who found his body or the killer. However, if Mr. On Guard was the real killer, there is no way he would have put such incriminating evidence in his own hakama. That's like what? 4 pairs now of glasses? The only person who could have put this button into Mr. On Guard's hakama is the person who went to wake him up from his nap, which is you yet again, Miss Andrews. She's an infinite stack of glasses. Yes, she does. I guess she has them, like she just has a bunch hidden in her, like, pants that she just pulls out. I see. What about the empty guitar case? That is also another piece of evidence that incriminates Miss Andrews. I envy her. Yeah, it would be nice to have a lot of infinite stack of glasses, so I didn't have to worry about them breaking. That would be so great. You should learn her secrets. I think we all glasses owners want to learn her secrets. Goodness. Who wouldn't want to know the secrets to endless glasses? Frick, you wouldn't have to pay so much money for glasses all the time to replace them. At this point, just wear contacts. At that point, just wear contacts. Well, contacts are their own monster of their own. That's a whole mess. Oh, that's a mess. I mean, it depends on the prescription. Yeah, that is true. The costume was used to hide the real killer's identity as they fled the crime scene. Now, who would have known that there was just such a costume inside the guitar case? It would only have been the person who prepared the costume for the victim. And that person is you, Miss Adrian Andrews. No, But Miss Andrews' fingerprints were nowhere to be found on the guitar case. And it was you who proved that she was not wearing gloves at the time. That's right. That's because she did not intend on leaving any prints. If anyone had found out that she had touched the case, they would have asked her why. So to avoid leaving any prints, she used a towel or something else to open it. But the glass of tomato juice is a different story. Miss Andrews purposely left her fingerprints on the glass to show that, yes, indeed, she was the classic dazed discoverer of a dead body. And to top it all off, there is this photo. A photo of the killer as they exited the scene of the crime. No reasonable person on Earth can believe this nickel samurai is Mr. Ungard. He would be too short for his own costume if it was him. Speaking of how tall people are, Miss Andrews, you're also kind of short in stature, are you not?
Please stop.
Well, how about it, Miss Andrews? Got her this time. Miss Andrews?
I refuse to testify.
What was that?
There's a law. It says I can't be forced to testify about something if it can incriminate me.
Well, yes. You are absolutely correct, Miss Andrews. The law does provide us with a way to avoid self-incrimination, by allowing a witness to not testify if the testimony can cause damage to themselves. What? Yeah, of course it exists. Plead the fifth is not something most people would think to do on the spot. Actually, thinking back to yesterday in Mr. Ungard's room... Yep, she pleads the fifth. Now, why did Phoenix need to roast her on her height plan? Because why not, I guess. Who knows? She pleaded the fifth. Guilty. Okay, everybody. Adrian Andrews.
Yes?
Think hard about what we just discussed. Understood?
Alright.
That's it. That's when Francisca planted this idea into her head. She must have told Adrian not to testify if things looked bad.
You did a good job proving everything up to this point, Phoenix. But there's still one thing you haven't done.
Something I haven't done? Phoenix woke up and chose violence today. I guess. What's wrong, Wright? Are you finished already? Running out of evidence? What is so humorous, Mr. Edgeworth?
I'm sure you realize this as well, Your Honor. But everything the good lawyer here has proven up to this point is meaningless.
What?
Everything you have proven is circumstantial. She doesn't look strong enough.
That is your question. That's the thing you think about? Which is, like, yeah. I think anything is possible, but obviously, yeah, that's a little bit... circumstantial.
Yes, circumstantial. You have yet to prove a single piece of definitive proof. Prove that Miss Andrews did, in fact, harbor a wish to murder Mr. Cordia.
Oh boy, we're getting into this already? Oh! Miss Andrews, did you want to kill Mr. Cordia?
I believe this may lead to me incriminating myself, so I will abstain from answering.
But Miss Andrews, if you do that, it would mean the same as admitting your guilt. Don't you think?
Maybe so or maybe not. There is nothing to prove it either way. Besides, you don't even know what crime I would be guilty of due to my silence.
No, she's taking that defiant attitude again. Mia, what should we do? I mean, yeah, the victim seemed way fit for it to be strangled by her. I'll fight back. True. That's the thing. Isn't that in... Because he is not... Like, he is a very... No, I don't want that. He is a very fit individual. It would be very weird. Mia, what should we do?
Somehow, we've landed in the worst possible situation.
Great. I think we have reached a certain conclusion at this point in time. Miss Adrian Andrews has refused to testify, and the defense's theory that she is the actual murderer has not been fully sustained with solid, definitive proof. But that's not true. In this situation, there is only one thing this court can do, and that is to declare a recess. Recess? I request that both the prosecution and the defense look further into this matter. And at tomorrow's trial... tomorrow? We don't have a tomorrow. If we don't get a not guilty for today, then... Please wait, Your Honor. That's not necessary. The trial. Please continue the trial.
What are you sweating for? Your client is getting one more day to live, isn't he?
That's not it. This isn't about that. Edgeworth, I know you know who the real killer is. Please, let the trial continue. If we don't get the verdict, then Maya. So he doesn't know. But it's impossible to continue as long as the witness refuses to testify. Now then, this court is... It's not impossible for this trial to continue.
For this trial to continue.
Mr. Edgeworth, what are you...
It's true, Miss Andrews holds the right against self-incrimination. However, if the topic of conversation were something unrelated to whatever she may be guilty of, then she has no right to withhold testimony.
Yes, that is very true, but...
Actually, there is one little thing that I'm curious about. Miss Andrews, when you found the victim's dead body, you poured yourself a glass of juice.
Yes, and?
I can't help but think how unnatural that is. Usually when one finds a body, they are shaken up, not stirring a glass of juice.
So my actions were unusual, but I've already...
Before you speak, I want to state if you have a reason behind your actions. Did her own lawyer turn on her? Edgeworth MVP. Not technically. Yeah, not really. It's kind of complicated, because technically Edgeworth isn't her lawyer, because she's not the one on trial. She's just a witness. So it's like a complicated thing. And Edgeworth is trying to find the truth. Let's say it like that.
I would like you to testify to that effect.
Testify?
Your Honor, I would like to request that the witness testify again, because clearly she wanted to end it. She's a witness, she's not his client. Yeah. Yeah, she wants to end it, don't get me wrong, but the reason why they don't want to end the trial is because Edgeworth heard what Phoenix said about Maya. So he knows something's up, and he finds it weird. Like, why is Phoenix so desperate more than usual? So yeah, there's a whole thing. But yeah, because he is a prosecutor, she's a witness, so there's a difference. He's not defending her. We're the defense attorney. It's definitely confusing. I won't deny. Things can be confusing.
As to what happened when she first discovered the victim's body, whatever we find out in this testimony should in no way implicate the witness.
So she can testify, so she can't get angry. Oh goodness.
I don't know what it is about Edgeworth today, but I can't get a good read on him. Is he a friend or foe? I just don't know.
Both. He is both. That is all I have to say on that matter. The court acknowledges the prosecution's request. Miss Andrews, if you please. When I found the body. Alright.
The glass of juice, I didn't really pour it for myself. I was surprised when I walked into the room and saw it in that messy state. In one, he was sitting slumped over and tired looking in the corner. When I saw him sitting like that, I thought that he was dead. The thought that he was dead didn't cross my mind. To be honest, I thought he had just fainted or something, went to pour him some juice. When I realized that he was dead, that's when I knocked the flower vase over.
Interesting. Okay. So you poured that glass of juice for the victim. Why didn't you say so in your earlier testimony?
I didn't think I needed to include something so trivial.
Phoenix, please be careful here.
If you can't find anything wrong with her testimony, there's nothing left.
I know. Edgeworth, what in the heck is going on in that brain of yours? I don't know. I mean, technically, I have your hair, Phoenix, so I know what's going on in your head. Now then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Thanks, Judge. Oh, boy. Righty. Well, I'm imploring for myself. I was surprised when I walked in the room and it's all in that messy state. So it was a mess? Are you sure it wasn't messy because of your fight with Mr. Cordia? Okay, that was a random thing to pull out of nowhere, Phoenix.
I understand your frustrations at not being able to prove your theory. However, before you go accusing people of crimes, go find yourself some evidence.
Grr.
And then, what did you see next, witness?
He was sitting slumped over, tired, looking in the corner.
Slumped over? Yes, he was just sitting there with his head tilted forward, eyes closed. He really looked like he was sleeping.
Is it just me or did that right there sound a little odd? Like he didn't cross my mind. Weird. Can you feel the metric ton of hair gel he uses every day to keep his hairstyle? I kinda can. It kinda feels that way. Like, imagine how pointy he gets his hair. We have to think, man. Look at this. Look at this hair. He takes time out of his day for this hair. I feel like you wonder why he is so desperate and trying to think things through. His hair is too full of gel. Wait a moment, but the photo clearly showed him dead. Yeah, that's the thing that is it this one? Knuckle Samurai. How did it not cross your mind? I don't know, because this is here, so I don't know why you wouldn't think. Like, seeing him like this, like him sleeping like this without this here, okay, that's a little bit more reasonable. But this being here is weird. Might want to use that against her. Even if she's not, she must have seen the stab into his body. Yeah, I was gonna say, you can't miss this. It's bright yellow, too. Like, look at how, you can't miss this. But yeah, maybe. Then what did cross your mind?
I thought that maybe he smashed everything up in anger because he lost the Grand Prix, and then felt tired after his Grand Prix, so decided to take a nap. Anyways, that's what I thought.
I see, so you didn't think he was dead at all. I thought he had just fainted. You thought he fainted?
I thought he was asleep at first, but then the room was in such a messy state. I thought maybe he had gotten into a fight with someone. And that's when you went to pour the glass of juice. Yes, he was always had a hard time waking up, so one had a glass of tomato juice to drink.
I mean, the Gorilla Glue challenge 4 years ago. That's what he's using. Oh no. Oh no, that would be really bad. He would not sleep. I see, and after that, what happened next? That hair is going anywhere. No, it is not. I knocked the flower vase over. So he thought this was odd, which is interesting. I want to see if anything comes out of this statement. And how did you come to realize that he was, in fact, dead?
I shook him over and over, but I never got a response. So I set the glass down on the dresser and tried to take his pulse. I was shocked and staggered backward.
And knocked the flower vase over. That's what happened.
Yes. This is what it all comes down to.
Huh? How about using it as when I saw him sitting line? Yeah, it's something probably Venus doesn't like standing near balloons. But yeah, it might be.
This is the absolute end for both sides, and Adrian is letting her guard down. Phoenix, now is your chance to kill the prosecution's case.
Isn't that a bit harsh? Miss Andrews, will she tell us the truth this time? Okay, well, I don't... My guess is between, like, a few things. Like, nope. It doesn't make the sound, so it tells me that that's not it. Alrighty. My favorite. Huh. So, you're correct on the thing, but I guess the wrong statement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Weird. So it's not this one, it's this one. This one or the next two statements. Kind of weird. But alrighty then. Gotta go. Alright, so you honestly didn't think he was dead when you found him?
No, not at all.
Even though this is what you saw when you discovered the body? Yet this exists. Ah. What is the meaning of this? Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? Yeah, you were right. Ooh. There is a knife sticking straight out of Mr. Cordia's chest. Anyone who saw the scene would have immediately thought that there was a dead man.
Well, you see...
I doubt a single person in the world would mistake this for someone who fainted. And then you so nonchalantly go pour something to drink. Your point is? Miss Andrews, your testimony just now, it was all one giant lie. And your lie has proven one thing very clearly, that you are the real killer.
No!
Looks like the defense has somehow brought the ugly truth to light. The defendant, Mr. Matt Ungard, is not guilty after all.
But that's impossible. You're wrong.
Miss Andrews, try to have some composure.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me, I tell you. It was Matt, I swear it. He's the one who killed Juan.
But you were the one who refused to testify, and your reason for not doing so that you might end up incriminating yourself.
That's because...
Miss Andrews, I will give you one last chance. What exactly are you hiding that may incriminate you?
I refuse to testify.
There's a reason. I know why. And you guys should know why, if you can think why. That's why. Then there is no need for this court to continue any further. Mr. Managard's innocence has been clearly demonstrated. Is it over? Have we found the truth at last? Not exactly.
What's wrong, Phoenix?
Usually the real killer confesses his or her guilt. And now that I think about it, this is the first time someone hasn't. Now then, I would like to hand down my verdict for Mr. Matt Ungard. Your Honor, the prosecution feels that it would be premature to pass down a verdict at this time. What? The reason is quite simple.
This witness has yet to speak the absolute real truth.
How much longer is this freaking case? Goodness gracious. Okay, we only have one more freaking testimony. Alrighty then, bye. That's all. Alright, bye. Next stream will be tomorrow. Tomorrow's the next stream. And then I go on a little bit of a break. But yeah, we're almost done. One more thing and then I'm good. The absolute real truth. What are you?
Witness, don't you understand yet?
Huh?
I don't know who planted this silly idea in your head, but as long as you protect yourself through silence, Matt Ungard will go free, and in his place, you will become the guilty party.
That's a lie. I don't believe you. Okay, then it was a nice stream. We're not done yet. We're not done yet. We have one more thing. I'm not done. What?
I was told if I spoke, then it would be all over, and Matt would never be declared guilty.
What in the world is she talking about? Has she lost it?
I can't speak about it. I'm too scared. It's Franziska von Karma.
Huh?
Don't you remember, Phoenix? Miss Andrews lives by gripping tightly onto the words of other. Because she doesn't have the strength to believe in herself.
Then right now, Miss Andrews is... Yesterday she was...
Tossed a lifesaver by Miss von Karma. Don't say a word, no matter what happens. If you do, Madame Guard will be acquitted. Miss Andrews undeniably believes in those words right now and is clinging on to them.
Then what should we do? This is the first time I've ever come across anything like this. But Miss Andrews has to be the killer, right?
All we have to do now is get our not guilty. That is my only priority. It wasn't me. I'm begging you. Please believe me. I didn't kill Juan. Help, please. Someone, help me.
Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? The court can't continue on like this, therefore I'd like to hear what you intend to do. What I intend to do? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say?
Right, I suggest you think very carefully about this. Think about what this witness did and what she did not do. And think about who is the real mastermind behind this crime.
Who's the real mastermind? Isn't that obvious? There's no one else it could be except the one crying over there, right? I believe she isn't. Something's off, honestly. Yep, that's what it's leading to.
Come now, what will you do? What kind of man are you, Mr. Phoenix Wright?
Alright. Okay. No matter what she says, Miss Andrews is the only person it could be. Not to mention, I don't have a choice. I have to win a complete acquittal today. Your Honor, the defense believes there is enough evidence to substantiate our claim. Therefore, we motion that this court passes a verdict of not guilty as soon as possible. The way the victim got killed without traces of a struggle is what's throwing me off from her being the killer. Yeah, there's more than meets the eye. That's all I have to say. You'll see in a little, tiny bit.
I'm disappointed in you, Wright. What have you learned in this past year?
That's enough. I commend you for trying, Mr. Edgeworth. However, it's clear that the defense theory is the truth.
You're wrong.
Alright, Edgeworth, do your thing.
What a shame. I had hoped things wouldn't come to this, however.
What is it, Mr. Edgeworth?
Miss Andrews, since you absolutely refuse to testify, it falls on my shoulders to disclose this to the court. Stop.
Mr. Edgeworth.
This witness, how should I put this, has an illness.
What?
And because of this illness, she has tried to commit...
something in the past.
Stop. Please stop.
No matter how much you want to hide it, it's no use. I have the evidence right here. That's the second part of the report. The attempt.
What will you do now, witness? You know what I'm about to do, don't you? I will now reveal to the court the true nature of this pitiful woman known as Adrian Andrews.
The secret of her dependent nature. Having other people know about it scares her more than anything else in the world.
Please stop. I beg you. If people find out, I'll... If you're going to say you would choose death, that is of no concern to me.
Edgeworth, how could you be so cold?
However, before you die, I will pull the truth from your still breath lips, no matter what I have to do. So, will you tell the court yourself or shall I? Either way is fine with me. talk, but please, help me. Nothing matters anymore.
My crime.
When I first saw him, I really thought he had fainted, honest. When I realized he was dead, that's when I formulated my plan. Once I made sure there was no one in the hallway, I made a dash back to Matt's room. And then stabbed Juan's dead body with the knife and ripped it off the button. Just when I finished and I was returning to Matt's room, I had a bit of an inconvenience. And that's why I ended up using the nickel samurai costume.
Stab the body with the knife, but why would you do that?
Isn't it obvious? To pin the blame on a certain person. A certain cowardly man.
What do you mean by all of this?
It might take this court a little while to understand, but this is the truth. The real killer is Matt. That scumbag of a man, I'll never forgive him. He's trying to escape his guilt again, just like last time.
Last time?
So, Miss Andrews stabbed the victim, Juan Cordia, in the chest with the knife. However, she didn't do it with the murder in mind. She did it with the intent of framing Mr. Ungod for the murder. And this is her crime.
Well. Okay. How is this possible? I mean, wasn't Miss Andrews supposed to be the real murderer? Mr. Wright, please get over your shock and commence the cross-examination. Alright. Last thing. Alright, here we go. But you could tell from the state of the room was in that there must have been a fight. Are you telling the truth when you say that you did not know he was dead?
He had a scarf tied around his neck, but that scarf is part of the jamming ninja costume, so I didn't think anything about it. It was strange. His head was also tilted down a bit, so I couldn't see his face that well. That's why I thought I'd wake him up, and went to pour the juice.
What is this plan you had?
I knew right away the murderer was Matt. I knew because, one, he was going to expose Matt's weakest point to the world. So Matt did this to stop Juan and silence him for good. That's when I thought I should forge some evidence and pin this crime of Matt.
So the forged evidence was the knife and the button.
The first thing that came to mind was to plant the knife.
So that was you. So that was so you could get the knife, correct?
The knife Matt used at dinner had his fingerprints all over it. I thought if I used that, then the police would certainly turn their eyes towards him. Matt was napping with his costume on at the time. I slipped in, took the knife, and returned to the scene of the crime.
So you were the one to stab the victim with that knife.
It gives me goosebumps to think about it now. What a horrible thing I did. But at the time, I couldn't control my own body. It moved on its own. Then when I stabbed Juan's dead body, I suddenly realized something. If I used the button somehow, I could make Matt look even more suspect.
So you thought to rip one of the buttons off and then plant it in Mr. Ungod's hakama?
Yes, that's what I had planned to do. But things never go that smoothly, do they?
Alright, almost there. An inconvenience.
There was a woman with a camera at the ready loitering in the hallway.
I'm willing to bet my spikes it was Lotta. Yeah, I can bet your spikes for you, right?
There was also a woman with a ray gun at the ready, pacing back and forth.
That's Miss Oldbag for you.
I had already been caught and made into a big scoop for a certain weekly tabloid once, so I couldn't very well go out looking like myself and get caught again. You were the one who prepared that costume, weren't you? Yes, I took it from Global Studios. I also put it in Juan's guitar case the day before the ceremony. Award ceremony.
Yes, he called them spikes.
Yep.
So you did this in preparation for the conference, correct? Yes, Juan wanted to wear that costume and hold a press conference in it. He was going to disclose Matt's big secret there.
And what is the secret?
That I don't know. Anyway, I thought if I were to leave Juan's room in the nickel samurai costume, the people would think that Matt was the real murderer. I was very careful not to leave any fingerprints.
Excuse me.
When I opened the guitar case, I absolutely did not want anyone to know about the costume.
Goodness. I think I've heard enough. So after that, you went back to Mr. Ungard's room and planted the button?
Into Matt's Hakama? Yes. After that, I folded up the costume I was wearing and put it into a bag. Then I snuck it out of the hotel and got rid of it.
My word, what does this all mean?
Mr. Edgeworth, is it? The real criminal is Matt Ungard. Yesterday, that woman prosecutor set me down for a talk.
Francisca, huh?
She said that I should under no circumstances confess to what I had done. That if I just kept quiet, that Matt would be found guilty for sure. I had no choice but to believe in her words.
What this witness has done is clearly unlawful. However, as long as her testimony stands, we can be certain she is not the real killer. Wait, Your Honor, the defense still... Right. It's pointless. At this point in time, it is not possible to indict Miss Andrews on anything. Yes, exactly. There isn't a single piece of evidence that points to her as the murderer. The cross-examination of this witness is over, and so is today's trial. You couldn't establish that the witness was the culprit. Please let it go, Mr. Wright. But, Mr. Edgeworth, please place Miss Andrews under arrest for further questioning. Understood, Your Honor. The prosecution will arrange for her detention immediately. That is all. Court is adjourned for today. Today's trial. It's over. I didn't win an acquittal. Witness, would you mind if I asked you something? Edgeworth?
What is it?
Before you leave the court today, I wondered if I might look at one thing. The card in your hand. It has had my interest for quite some time now. What exactly is it?
Oh, this? Mr. Wright also asked about this.
The prosecutors can arrest people? Well, he works with detectives and police, so they'll arrest her, and then he'll ask her questions. So, kind of? In a way, yes, but not literally.
Although I don't remember at the time you asked me about it, Mr. Wright. I remember just now, I found this in the room on that day.
The room? That day?
Yes. I found this card when I discovered Juan's body. It was lying there right next to him.
You found that card next to the victim's body?
I suppose I must have unconsciously slipped it into my pocket. But it's not as if this card has any relevance to Juan's murder, right?
Yeah, I guess not. But it's still a strange card, if you ask me. But as far as a clue to this case, I don't see why. Witness that card. Give it to me. Hurry. Edgeworth? Do you have any idea what you have stupidly yet inadvertently done? I can't believe you hid this from me all this time.
I didn't mean to. What is this about?
I've never seen Edgeworth so emotional before. That card, what in the world is it, and what does it mean? And there it is. Alright, so that's the end for today. So, yeah. A lot has happened. So, obviously next time I stream this, we'll get to more things. If it was in the crime scene, that it is evidence regardless of wherever it's staying. She can't stop herself from crime. Yeah. Yeah.